It's the Jim and Jay Show, starring the queen herself, the queen of laughter,
But did you die?
the queen of craziness,
You better get frickin' excited.
possibly the hardest working woman in the entertainment industry. That would be the queen!
Someone get me an energy
Miss
drink.
Jim Lee, her sidekick, as always, Mr. Mean himself, JMR.
You do you.
Hey, we may not be safe for work. Sometimes alcohol consumption may be necessary to understand what we're talking about.
You better figure it out.
We may not get it right, but we're never going to be boring.
You better get frickin'
So
excited.
grab your favorite beverage, and if you're at work, you may just need to load up on coffee.
You better lock it up.
If you're at home, you're at the bar, we suggest something a lot stronger. Hey, let's have a good time.
Bye.
It's not all about Jim. Or is it?
Or is it?
Well, let's be real honest
Let's be
here.
real honest.
You know what's funny is, have you ever heard the story of how she got the nickname the Queen?
No.
I wrote. We have a movie we've been working on, Hardin Road. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Jim and Jay Show with a very special guest. If you were with our last show, you got to meet Agent Crayon, who is a presently military contractor working on the embassy in Afghanistan. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. Everybody say hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello. Holla.
Holla back now.
So I started writing this. I'd met a gal who had worked for the agency years ago. And it's this amazing story about how a woman, she was not part of the agency at this point. She went through what I thought was sad for those people out there. It's called, that's Secret Activities Division. Not to be mistaken for FAG, which is the Film Actors Group. And
Isn't a fag a cigarette?
no, that's what they were calling SAG, the Screen Actors Guild.
Oh.
In
Team America.
yeah,
Yeah.
America. Yeah.
Oh, I never didn't catch that.
Oh, if you want to, have
Oh,
you ever
yeah.
seen that? Trey Parker makes fun of
I don't think
Hollywood.
so.
Oh, he went
Oh, it's great.
and Matt Damon, like he can't. That's all he can say.
I don't think so. I don't.
Who are
think
you?
I've ever
I'm
seen
Matt Damon. What are you doing, Matt
Matt
Damon?
Damon.
And it's just they make fun of people. Look, South Park will make fun of anybody.
Oh shit! Yeah.
yeah.
And that's where I kind of like some of Adam Sandler's things. That's like some of some
Yeah.
communities were upset about how he was with Ridiculous Six. Dude, he made fun of everybody.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, come on. If you can't make fun of yourself. So anyway, this woman, she had gone through this division, and her and some of her counterparts left. And a couple of years later, they are found on the radar working in organized crime. Well, what ended up happening, you know how that works.
Yeah.
What ended up is this woman spent, and I'm being very vague because we wrote the story. It's loosely based off of it, but
Not
she
much anymore. We've had to make so frickin' provisions for everyone. but
yeah, but yeah,
it's
I
like
mean,
the
we had
same
so many
story.
horrible actors. And that's that happens in the business.
Anyways,
Yeah.
sorry.
But it was all a ruse. She
Really?
had started this all-female organized crime syndicate to combat human trafficking.
Really?
And they finally figured it out years later, because I'm pretty sure said agencies were probably helping behind the scenes and behind it. But a lot of bad people went down. And she's never really totally come out. But anyway, we wrote a movie kind of loosely based on this.
Nice.
And it was so the main character is the queen. And the way this little society works is basically it's a female type warrior cult, no men allowed type deal. But it's not prison, but it's a organized crime syndicate.
Really?
And so we named the character the Queen.
Okay.
Well, we kept auditioning people for it. We kept and just nobody had this attitude.
Yeah.
And then Gemma gets mad at one of the people auditioning, and they leave, and she goes, "Why are you just trying to find people pretend to act the way that I live, the way I do?" And I said, good. The role's yours. Now, meanwhile, I'm working for her, but I'm like, I can't find anybody else.
Yeah.
And the scenes that we did when we got through it were just, it really is her attitude.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize to get the studio started, you know, we've always had to work day jobs.
Oh, yeah.
And it cracked me up that.
Still piss me off.
Yeah, I know. I know on that one. That one irritates you.
Well,
But it used to crack me up that Gemma would work one day job and have a couple people answering to her.
Yeah.
And people didn't realize, and she would get all these ridiculous results. And I used to explain to people, like, at any given time, she leaves this job to go home, and she has 153 plus people that she is responsible for right now in this production.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, you did pretty much 3/4 of the emails and
No, not
and the
all of it.
computer
I think you
work,
did a
but-
lot. Well, I mean, that's what
Yeah.
that part of my job is for. So anyway, that's where the queen came from.
Okay.
And so now all the even actors and other producers call her the queen.
Well,
You know.
and we first started to, and I took on the name Gemma because of God, I just had it in
Sons
my
of
head.
Anarchy.
Yes.
Yeah. I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
of Gemma.
You want to hear something funny?
Sure.
She has a Gemma wig.
Really?
You
I
will,
like dang
people
near.
people will only see her in public or on podcasts. They'll never be able to recognize her in the street. This wig
I
was
think I got a
sent to
photo of
her
it.
by the woman. What's her name? Kathy. I can't remember what her name is. This wig was sent by her. It's one of the 6 wigs extras for the stunt doubles. It's one of the wigs for Gemma from the set of Sons of Anarchy.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty
So
cool.
like that's, I mean, she's got a reputation of being Gemma,
Yeah.
and that's where it came from.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into talking about, if you weren't in the last show, Agent Crayon is a over 10-year veteran of the private military contract world. Is also, oh God, can't say was again. Is a former Marine, 2 tours.
One, and then my second one was kind of screwy, but yeah.
Okay.
I call it one.
With the 7th Marine, the legendary 7th Marine, Chesty Puller.
Yep. Among many others.
Many others, legends. The contracting business is you know what? So before we get back in, I'll just go on some really crazy stuff. You two are related.
Mm-hmm.
Last I checked, yeah.
And you folks really need to listen to show number 1 before you listen to show number 2, because we go to in depth on Gemma and AC haven't really been able to see each other for between military and contractors or stuff like that, just the way life happened for at least 15 years, if not more.
Oh, yeah.
You two are fucking weird. First off, we talked in the last show about you guys and your family's affinity for Jimmy Dean fucking sausage. Hey, notice, I made it cool. I made it 6 minutes. YouTube's not going to flag me for dropping an F-bomb. So then we decided to get a snack between shows, and Jim is like, weird thing, and I thought it was a pregnant woman thing. Pulls out this monstrous jar of freaking peanut butter and jelly, goes to town with a spoon, and AC looks over and goes, oh shit, I thought I was the only one that did that. And I'm looking at him going, you cannot tell me as a grown man you have a pregnancy snack like that. I'll fucking murder it. I will kill me an entire jar of peanut butter.
It's just creepy how, because when you're kids, you don't really know who you are
Yeah.
yet, and as we are older, it's weird that we have very similar.
Yeah, it's
so fucking
And
weird.
you know what was even funnier and weirder is when your husband finds out that this was the cousin that was on your bang list.
Shut up. Now you made me red.
what should be even weirder
Yeah.
is we didn't even bat an eye.
Didn't even bat an eye at it.
Yeah.
We did that on I think it was on show 5. That
Well, we got on the subject of
everyone has that cousin they would bang,
Yeah,
and you made fun of mine.
I did.
It's like, what the
At
fuck,
least
man?
mine's legit.
Well, yeah, I'm not gonna
Yours
say
was
that.
not.
Well, she was 25 years ago, okay? She would have been under the MILF category there. So fuck off. How dare you question my incestual choices?
Well, didn't you say, or you didn't you kiss her?
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. Stretched that gray line and came back.
This podcast is brought to you by Alpine Vodka. Alpine Vodka is a distillery out of Park City, Utah. Fuck off, woman.
I had to get you back for making me red.
But well played. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Right?
That was
Well,
pretty
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Well, the one thing that we kind of touched on lightly is deploying as a contractor is much different. We talked about
Yes,
the
very
the
different.
30. Well, we even talked like most people even do 30s anymore.
No, it's pretty much
mandatory
60s,
60,
90s,
90.
105s.
You know.
105 is a pretty common 190s.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I figured. And but you had a very interesting journey on. You are, to refresh the audience, you are the lead and head medic responsible for the ambassador in Kabul.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
And you are also his private security, his what we call personal security detail.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that is more or less correct.
You did not have an MOS, which for those of you in the audience, military occupational specialty, PSD, was really kind of not your forte, although you did,
Yeah.
similar, but
Yeah,
not,
I mean, we did have to escort people around in the military, kind of
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a drink. There's a train drink.
as if we haven't been doing enough of that today.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
we will be talking more and more about our alcoholic endeavors. This podcast is brought to you by Lolo Distillery in Lolo Creek, Montana. We are drinking. This bottle was supposed to last us the whole night. It is, let's see here. It is 75 proof, 750 milliliters of huckleberry naughtiness. It is huckleberry. It is awesome. Look out for Lolo Creek Brewing.
I do have an odd question for you both.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if you're not okay with answering it, it's okay. We can talk about it off the podcast. But how do you guys...
Because you two talk about some fucked up shit off the podcast.
How do you guys... And I know it's different for each person. Prep for a deployment. Like physically, mentally...
Ooh,
Oh, that's actually a really good question.
that is a very good question. I never.
Well, and for you, it's a little bit different because that way we can piggyback.
Because you
on
both
that.
are... I mean, you both kind of came from the same situations to a point.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, the physical for me is always going to be a priority.
Oh yeah.
But
Skills, physical.
Yeah, and I think the physical side of just being in shape,
Yeah.
the shape that I feel necessary.
Yeah.
One of my last ones before you and I met, I hired a personal coach, Theo,
Yeah, which
was
he's
my
such a
coach.
good guy.
and here I am going to the gym every day wearing a plate carrier, and that's
Oh, yeah.
before the cool kids of CrossFit were doing
Yeah.
it, because I
Exactly.
was wearing a legit plate carrier
Yeah.
with legit magazines, and people were flipping out, but
Oh, yeah.
it was, and I think for me that was just I needed to get my mind right, because we talked about some home front stuff.
Yeah.
Now I'd like us to try to keep working on this, but the military was not your introduction to medical, was it? Or did it kind of start it?
It started. I mean, growing up, the way that we did.
Right.
Granted, I wasn't running cattle, but growing up around animals, you kind of have to start to learn how to work on animals if you're using them for livestock and whatnot. So that was kind of my introductory into it. Now, the way I got into medical, especially being the Marines, Marines don't have medicine, medics.
Oh, okay.
They're Navy.
Oh,
We have Navy corpsmen.
okay.
They have to go through a special school.
That's Goose.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Gooses.
All right, that makes sense.
So he's a corpsman. Now, when I first get dropped to the Marines, to my actual fleet unit, the push is going so strong. They're trying to get bodies on the ground. They're trying to, we started the both front. There were Marines deploying to Afghanistan, Iraq. Iraq was kicking off. We were short corpsmen. I mean, we were short corpsmen at the time. So it was one of those, hey, you guys are squared away. we're going to send you out to this local college. We're going to, give you basically temporary orders out to this college while we're doing all this other workup, and we're going to teach you medicine. So we went, and a bunch of us, well, not a bunch, it was like 10 of us. They trained us on EMT, emergency medical technician, just basic tech, medicine. And then they kind of sent us through a couple of these little specialty courses on how to keep things alive and more tactical medicine. And that was my real introductory into it. And I always kind of stuck with it, even though when I was deployed, my primary job was something different altogether, but I would still help the corpsmen out as much as I could, because eventually, right before we got deployed, we got some corpsmen in. So it was one of those, I had the necessary training and I would help out the corpsmen, and that was my introduction to it. And then I just more or less pursued it. Just always stayed into it. Even when I started contracting, I wasn't actually a medic when I first started contracting. I had my certs and everything, but there was other guys with more experience, and different experience, different schools, and they were more qualified for the positions than me.
And when you started contracting, roughly about 2009,
yes,
there was a flood.
Oh yeah,
there had been a push to fill these special operations, units, and these guys had done 2 tours, 3 tours, 4 tours, and they were over it.
Yeah,
they were not lifers; they were getting out. So the contracting world, there for a while, if you didn't have a TS clearance or you didn't have some type of 18 series, MLS, an 18 series is like a special forces. Like the biggest one to have was 18 Delta, which is one of the premier combat medicine programs.
It's
ever created in the world. But SEALs go to. I mean, it's not just for special forces, for Green Berets. For the audience out there that's not military savvy, there is only one special forces. Special forces is United States Army Green Berets. They are force multipliers. Okay, they do not do the same job that Navy SEALs do.
Nope.
They don't do the same jobs that Rangers do. We all work in one form or another together, different aspects.
Yeah.
Okay. So, getting during that time for you to be pushing toward the medic, that was an uphill fight.
Very much so. Like, I really had to really hit the books, really hit, in my own time when I was home on leave, trying to get some schools in, trying to, go into college, doing that kind of stuff to try and get more proficient at what it was. Now, the upside is everybody tells me I kind of have a little bit of a gift for it. I guess my brain just works that way. I say it's more the fact I love the rabbit hole I'm down. I'm fascinated with how the human body works in all aspects of it. So I just kept pushing, kept digging, and working my ever-loving ass off, always being that guy. And it just worked my ass off, and eventually...
Were you doing multiple contracts your first couple of years, or was it one here, one there?
I was
hard to get in, maybe 2 a year, that type of deal, or
my first year of contracting, I spent 9 months contracting.
Did you really?
Yeah, we were the rotation. I would end up doing like 4 or 5 months
because it was so competitive back then.
Yeah,
it was so ridiculously.
Why do you think
competitive.
it's changed?
That's that is a
or do you think
slope.
Just times have changed?
Well, I think it's that, and I'll just say it. Being a contractor or even being in the military underneath the Obama administration sucked.
Yeah.
The rules of engagement changed for everybody, and and I'll just say it the way I feel it. If Obama couldn't put his mouth around the cock of somebody and try to make them feel better by screwing America, it wasn't going to happen. And that's look, here's the difference. That's how I feel. I don't like the guy. I still worked for him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's still the POTUS. Like right now, one of my big funny things is we went from the Cheeto to the pedo. And you can make fun of Mr. Trump all you want, but I never had to question whose side he was on. I had to question whose side Mr. Obama was on.
Oh, constantly.
I thoroughly questioned, and maybe and maybe that's a little unfair to point that finger at him. Maybe it was his administration.
Yeah.
But Hillary Clinton
Oof.
was underneath the Obama administration. In the contract world, she's not liked very much.
No, she is not.
And, whether you liked him or hated him, in the military and I think in the contract world, you never, ever had to question whose side Mr. Trump was on.
Mm-hmm.
Did I like everything
I know
he
other
did?
people would probably disagree with you, but
yeah.
it's here nor there.
The thing of it is though, those people that would disagree aren't on that two-way range getting shot at.
Yeah.
That's fair.
A lot of people want to sit there and pull their mouth out for, Joe pedophile and the stuff that went on in the Ukraine. Well, the reason that contractors really hate Mr. Biden and his family is contractors from several different agencies have had to deal with them and their family in the Ukraine. There's a lot of people that know a lot of things. Now, I'm not saying all contractors are perfect because it is an interesting business that...
Oh, yeah. Whew. Some of those people...
It's like any job. There's... there's cops that don't belong being cops.
Yep.
There's firefighters that don't belong being firefighters. There's teachers that don't belong being teachers, and it's no different than any other profession.
Yeah.
The problem of it is it's the good part of it is you can get fired.
Yes.
If you are incompetent, you can get fired.
Yeah.
Well, because there's a difference between being a teacher and that's not life or death. It's a big fucking difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the influx changed. We saw a decline in the quality of contractors because we called that the end of the Blackwater years.
Yep.
Love him or hate him, Eric Prince is very much a force that is responsible for our success in Iraq.
So, quality, I pretty much understand it, but to clarify, like
at one
people who are more than capable of doing the job.
At one point, if you weren't, that's why it's impressive during the time frame. At one point, if you weren't from now this is where we do more explanation.
Yeah.
A lot of people think of special forces, but what they're really referring to is special operations, like JSOC, Joint Special Operations Community. And that encompasses a slew of,
it's a broader range.
We've been having fun conversations because we have, acquaintances and people that we know. First, back in the day, they called it's Special Operational Force Delta. So they were called Delta. To this day, the United States still doesn't acknowledge that they're there. I mean, there's movies made about them. Everyone knows they're around, but they're extremely professional. They are ridiculously professional. Then they started just calling it the unit.
Yeah.
And I think that might even been one of their first names.
Yeah.
And then somewhere throughout the years, it became CAG, Combat Applications Group. And then recently, now I think it's Army Compartmentalized Element, ACE.
Yeah.
That is
something
weird.
like that.
Yeah, I mean, so there's so much stuff that goes under JSOC. There was a time when you almost couldn't be a contractor if you hadn't been deployed, if you weren't from the operations community.
It makes sense as to why.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Right.
It's like it's a job, like a job precursor. Now, where I think you did well is you were with the legendary 7th.
Yeah, that actually did help a lot when I started contracting, especially once they found it. Because when you first get into it, they validate and check, hey, where was this guy at? Is he lying? And it is
a good old boy community.
Oh,
I
still
don't doubt
is.
that.
It's no different than the way that the government is right now.
Yep.
Every person that I guarantee you worked for Trump is gone, and now Joe Petto's friends are getting put in there. The contracting community is because they want their friends there.
Yeah.
It's like the film business.
Sometimes friends aren't always good to have there.
Well, if you're a professional, you surround yourself with the right people, not the people.
There you go.
That's So anyway, you came in a time, it was the end of the Blackwater days. And whether your personal views on Mr. Prince are good or bad, I love Mr. Eric Prince.
I do too. I never worked for him, but he asked me, hey, I got this job done. Well, do you want to know what it is? Nope, done.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll go. Blackwater was responsible for the win of the battle in Fallujah.
yep.
They were on those roofs with Marines fighting right alongside of them.
Yep.
And as a matter of fact, it was Blackwater's private aircraft that were resupplying Marines with medical ammunition, food. I mean, they really did a good job.
Mhm.
You know, they did an extremely good job. So you come up, then some. And what I was trying to go at with is you haven't. A lot of people don't realize is in between those contracts, you usually have to get a day job. You're not making that kind of money.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Everyone always thinks that the money is so good. Like
Yeah.
presently, if I'm correct now, if we can't talk about this, we'll adjust. But if I'm correct right now, because you are an outside of the country American contractor, your salary is automatic before it even gets deposited over here, 20% taxed by Afghanistan.
That's correct.
So crappy.
Yeah. So right off the bat, you make $100. Nope, you made 80.
Yep.
Right off the top. The other problem of it is now is equipment. You can only basically have training equipment because most entities require you to use their equipment
Yep.
in the process.
Yep. And the way they get their equipment is good old boy system.
And
I got a buddy that, is making this equipment and, oh, hey, we need some for our contract. Oh, hey, guess what? You just got the contract for this equipment. And it's the people, it's one of the biggest gripes we have is and we're not allowed to modify our equipment in any way.
Yeah.
So
now that I didn't know.
Oh, yes. That is a big, big no-no.
Oh, man.
We can't even, on our weapons, we only can put on issued equipment, and a certified armor has to put it on or take it off. We can't do it ourselves. We can't. And
Does that make you feel a little bit on edge about the equipment you're using?
It does, but we make do.
Yeah.
And
what are you gonna do?
And when it comes to the good, the actual stuff we use day to day, we do have decent equipment. Is it what we all prefer? No. But does it get the job done? Yes. So there is that. And honestly, unfortunately, it is contractors' faults for the way it is now. Because you'd get these guys that came into the contracting world, and I remember this happening. They'd have all this ridiculous equipment that was, one, it was crap equipment. Two, they would just modify their equipment in ways that made it unsafe and unsound. And so, right, wrong, or indifferent, these people that would hire us started looking at this and they're like, hey, this is pretty unprofessional.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, it's always that bottom 10% that screws it up for the rest of the 90%. And that's just kind of how it all came about. And that's one of the biggest problems in the contracting world is the mass punishment, is what we call it. One person screws up, it changes things for all of us.
So crappy.
That brings me to another story. We'll kind of beat around the bush, but I hope.
Oh, you guys didn't answer my original question.
No, we're
getting
no,
okay.
No, and I'm coming back at it.
Squirrel.
No. I mean, I'm taking a long way around so that people understand.
It's really good. I mean, I think, that's why one of the reasons we like doing podcasts is to. Sometimes people don't understand.
No, they don't.
Or assume.
Well,
and knowledge
this is a world that I think the world got very much exposed to the private military contractor during a tragedy.
Yes.
And that was when it was it was just a clusterfuck.
Yeah,
it was just a bad
around.
situation. A couple contractors were killed.
Yep.
Their bodies were left on bridges burning. Their contractor buddies had to see this. They're 4 days late. They're still trying to do their job.
Yep.
Now, this is where it gets very interesting. So this is where it becomes commentary. I only know from what I know and most whatever people can look up.
Yeah.
However, there was some bad reports. These guys got into a firefight. When people got there, they were still being shot at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when they're back up, they're still being shot at. The problem of it was when they returned fire, and was it really ever proved that they shot back? Like they shot at people running away?
See, I've heard so many different things.
This is
about
my
that.
problem. This is my
Yeah.
problem with even making an opinion about the situation.
Yeah.
What I will tell you is the 4 men went to prison.
Yep.
It's been that happened in 2008. This case was drawn out over years. It should have never.
Yeah.
And frankly, if you want my opinion, fuck you, Mr. Obama, for not pardoning him the first time.
Exactly.
Because it was one of those
to me,
things.
It doesn't make any sense. If someone is shooting at you,
Well,
you're just supposed to
there
stand there
is
and
no,
take it?
there are rules of engagement.
Yeah, there are some very strict rules of engagement.
And you have to remember, you're also not in the military. You are a private person,
Yep.
which
Oh,
means
yeah,
you,
that is true.
which means, which is worse. See, this is what I don't understand. Which means you are subject to the laws of that country.
Yep.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yes. So as a contractor, to give you a rough idea, it got so scary, and I don't know if you ever had to do this. Companies started to, when we saw the end of Blackwater, because Eric Prince's organization was extremely reputable. They paid you good, they treated you well. Then we had these companies coming in, and they were underbidding so badly, and they were foreign entities. They weren't trained correctly. They were taking sometimes basic mercenaries from South America and all of these other countries, and they were just really and they were using poor equipment. I explained to him one that I did where the commo guy came out and goes, "You're on your own, I'm leaving."
What?
Yep.
And because he showed me our commo equipment, and here we are, a professional outfit,
Oh my god.
and they gave me a box of Motorola hand radios that you would take hunting or your kids would play with. And I just said, "I'm out, dude. I'm outie," you know. So we've had this situation. Then we had an administration that wanted results but wasn't willing to do what they needed to do to get them. And once again, whether you like Mr. Trump or not, there are some things that AC and I like, we don't like. We're not one position voters,
Yeah. No.
but you didn't have to question whose side he was on. And if you didn't think that there's a reason why ISIS got annihilated inside like 4 months,
Yeah.
when the previous administration had taken years and let them get
So
out of
stupid.
control.
So
We know
stupid.
people who died in Fallujah. Okay,
Yeah.
Fallujah was a horrible fight. It was a bloody fight. That administration just gave that city back over to ISIS, as far
Yep.
as I'm concerned. Now, I have passionate opinions about that and stuff, and that's not what I want to get into. So, your first contract is 9 months.
Yeah. Something like that.
And then we figured out the other day, or you told us you figured out the other day, you have literally a decade of your boots on the ground of another country in work.
Yes.
Okay. So you didn't do like a lot of contractors where you would do 90 days, come home, have to work a day job, wait for another one to come through. Maybe you get another one that year. Most likely, I used to get usually about 2, maybe 3. But you have to work between those things, work your day job and stuff like that. So our mindsets are 2 different mindsets.
Yeah.
I have to come back, be normal, drive around, be a normal person, not carry a gun, not, that stuff. And then I got to go back to
Which can
work.
probably feel very naked or vulnerable. Not having.
We did a show where we talked about at-home support.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And there's a reason why in our profession, or my former profession, in that profession, that divorce is a curse.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. You actually have to know. There's a reason why, because there are a lot of female contractors. AC knows one very well, several out there. And they have to come up the hard way too. Don't think that they just get in there by, like the Green Beret woman that got greased through and in her first week of being attached to the group, got drunk and shot at her neighbors through her apartment wall. And she'll be reporting on Monday to the 82nd Airborne because that's exactly what they do. And that, little BS stuff like that. So my preparation would be physical. The one thing that is hard for your home front situation is it's kind of like me with like rodeo. If I am entered on a rodeo and I get into a big one and that rodeo is 3 weeks away, I'm already there.
Yep.
In my mind, I'm already there. The second I would get called, because I enjoyed, I did enjoy contracting. I enjoyed the work.
Yes.
I love it. And we've talked about that. I miss just doing the actual job. Like a lot of people, man, you got to love being in movies. No, I don't like being in movies. I like doing the work. I actually enjoy the long days and the logistics and the deploying, the strategy and getting ready. And so
it's intellectual work.
Right. And now with him being in medical, man, I don't even know. Because I know what we also have to do is you need to continue with continuing education.
Yeah.
Like this year, remember I took 2 classes with, some instructors. And you'd think after taking classes and being trained and stuff like this for over 20 years, you're an expert. You're not.
No. Especially in the medical field, things change daily, seems like.
You wouldn't believe the conversation he and I had just on the way up to the vacation about quick clot.
Oh, no way.
Oh, my God. I'm going to throw mine away.
It's probably
like
old.
it's not or I need to maybe be briefed on how to use it the correct way instead.
The quick so quick clot, when we were young individuals in the military years ago,
7 moons ago.
So quick clot was a powder that you pour into the wound, and it was, if the wind was blowing, you could get into your eyes, it'd burn your eyes, it'd burn the wound, and it just wasn't. It helped, but it wasn't super effective. And it's just one of those, we had to figure out a better way, and these companies did, like Quick Clot, there's Cellox, there's a couple others, and they all work more or less in similar fashions, but the actual clotting agent is impregnated into the gauze.
Oh.
So that way, when you're putting stuff in this gauze into the wound and you're holding pressure on it, it helps the body clot, because of the bleeding. Now, the powder wasn't actually getting into the wound, and there's ways that you can improvise the powder into the wound, but more or less it just wasn't doing the job. But they figured out, if we impregnate it into the gauze, it works, So that's the kind of stuff that's constantly changing. Like, there's new drugs coming out all the time, like painkillers, antibiotics, different procedures that are starting to come to the forefront. And sometimes a procedure will come to the forefront and be like, hey, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Oh, well, wait a minute. We started doing this. This is actually really bad.
Abort.
Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't do that anymore. So, I mean, it's just one of those ever-changing fields. And anybody in the medical industry will tell you that the second you stop learning in medicine is the second you fall behind.
Wow.
I mean, it is changing so much. For example, the AHA, the American Heart Association, like they're constantly updating their stuff, and then they'll do I call it a massive change. Like they'll redo a lot of their little protocols and whatnot every few years and do big changes. Like, okay, this is the latest science behind this, so this is what we're going to do now. Then they do more studies and more studies and more studies. Okay, well, this seems to be working, whereas this didn't. And this is across the board. We're talking trauma, we're talking medical, we're talking anything from CPR to surgeries. So it's one of those, I mean, literally I spend 2 hours a day, just part of my routine, just like most people work out. I spend 2 hours a day looking up new, the latest and greatest on what's going on in the medical industry. And it's just part of the job now.
Yeah. Well, always keeping your mind going and learning.
Oh, yeah. And if you because I recently, started working on my critical cares and, my, there's critical care, and then there's TAC medicine and stuff like that. And I'm an instructor in several different disciplines. And I was like, well, I need to further myself. So I started working on that. It's just one of those things you've got to, if you want to stay ahead of the game, you've got to work on it. Just like a lot of different.
Where do you feel like you need
off.
to
This guy's just fucking showing off.
work on the most?
What was
Where
it?
do you think you need to work on the most?
Everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, you're looking over at him and we can't hear you. So,
Yeah.
so just ask the question. No, just ask the question again.
Oh, I forgot it now. Oh, where do you think you need to work on the most? Like in your field?
everything. Like, honestly, it's one of those. And we had this conversation.
You changed your seating and you've moved away. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, you moved like away.
Yeah.
So there
Yeah.
you go. Yeah,
Better?
see the
Okay.
difference there? There we are.
So, and, you know, we had this conversation while we're
Yeah.
on vacation, you know, and we're both of the mindset that if you're not continually furthering, you like, I am never happy with where I'm at. I'm constantly reaching for better. So you asking me, hey, where do you need to work on? I will tell you everything all the time. I am never good enough at what I do.
And that's what we talked about, the endless pursuit of perfection.
Yeah.
You know, and
Which is good, but it can also
oh,
be a
No,
burden.
well, and that's
Yeah.
where we talked about it. Like I had said, like I'd spoke at a college thing, and somebody said, "What happens if you find perfect?" I said I would destroy it to create it again because the thrill of the kill is secondary to the challenge of the chase.
yeah, exactly.
I have to have something, and it's like this year. You and I talked about me possibly returning to. Now, when I say we talk, I'm not giving up making movies and the other thing. Like, I would love to just be able to do the work because I miss the work. But the first thing I did, boom, 55 hours of continued education shooting courses from a legitimate instructor. And I'm not dropping names because we know how I feel about Navy
You were very
SEALs.
reluctant,
but
and I'm like, no,
I was.
do it.
And it
Yeah.
was one of the best decisions I had ever made. The thing that upsets me now is because of the ammo crisis. I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
Undo
And then
that.
that's where we were talking yesterday, and it's very interesting when you get a meeting of the minds where shooting is a part of our profession. How many gunfights have you been into as a contractor? Over a 10-year period. Can you even talk about that?
No, I can't.
Okay, let's go ahead and leave that out.
Yeah.
It's the rarity, not the norm.
Yes.
Okay, that's what we'll go with.
Yeah.
Okay. It is such a small part
Oh yeah.
of the job, but if it's called upon,
Yep.
That's Coda.
yep.
Yeah. We're paid for what we might have to do, not what we do.
They shouldn't call us contractors. They should call us in case shit.
Yes. Break glass in case of.
Yeah, and that's really all what it comes down to is like, in case this shit goes really south, really sideways, you know, that's really kind of what it's for.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time on shooting.
Oh yeah. We do. Like at work, you know, we have to do our quarterly qualifications and all that stuff. But, you know, we'd have open range days where you could sign the roster and show up and go shoot.
So anyway, sorry, we had a little technical issue right there. So yeah, we spent a lot of time on shooting.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about, the one thing that I want him to work with you before he leaves us again here is my IFAC sucks. My knowledge of my IFAC
Individual
sucks.
first aid kit.
Yeah, I was getting ready to go
okay.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Every person, you know, because people always say, well, with the experience you have, especially like with yours, what you have an IFAC.
yeah,
Have
absolutely.
an individual first aid kit.
And know how to use it.
There's the issue. Know
Yep.
how to use it and know.
When to use it.
I don't know if we can
also.
talk about this, but like there are people that are so stupid in how to use the most similar things. Prime example, when you saw, and I'm just going to call him out because they should have shot and been. I had no more. There are a few. We talked about this. I have few little pleasures in the world that I enjoy more than watching an asshole get tased and at work. There's a lot.
They're fun.
They
And
are.
when somebody gets shot with a 40 mic round in the beanbag into the chest, and all of a sudden you see that pain
it's
hit
still
their eye.
frickin'- yeah.
Oh God!
Oh, yeah.
It you feel like you're gonna
Pain.
die. That kid that decided he was gonna be tough, Mr. Antifa guy. and
Oh,
he,
yeah.
He kicked a tear gas canister, and that cop came right back with a 40 mic round of tear gas and shot him in the nuts with it. It
Oh.
was awesome.
Yes.
I love every fucking minute of it. So these people are out there running around with stuff. What they do is they watch movies and they watch SEAL Team 6 and the show, which is a great show.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler Gray, the guys around there, they're legit pipe laying motherfuckers. Like, these are legit dudes, and they work very hard to keep their shit real. That's what I will say about Tyler Gray.
Yes.
And he had a great interview of what he feels about PTSD. He says, I don't have PTSD. I have lack of trauma syndrome. He says, I am at a place where I only acknowledge that I can only thrive inside chaos.
Yeah.
And if I don't have chaos, I'll create it. It was one of the greatest interviews I've ever heard. I recommend anybody. I think it was a Drinking Bros podcast with Ross Patterson, JT
well, it
Taylor.
actually kind of makes sense.
If you notice,
as
a
to
lot of
some
people that have been in
relationships,
our community who have problems in their personal life, it's because they're destroying it intentionally because things are going too good.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway,
it's so sad.
Getting back to it, like learning the IFAC, everybody, they say, but the problem of it is people watch these TV shows and they think that they should do this. I don't know if you can tell this story. I'm praying to God that you can. But one of the most ill-gotten things, this guy got shot in the arm with a rubber fucking bullet, okay? And little miss, I got medic shit all over me. Comes up. He got hit up here, right? She's putting this tourniquet on his elbow. He doesn't, and he's sitting there going, oh, he's just a little pussy. And he's just and she's sitting there putting the tourniquet below where he was injured.
And if they're putting it on a joint,
yeah,
like, you're not. There's so much wrong with that. Like, it just makes my head hurt so much.
Well, and the other thing of it is too is like you start talking about like. It's kind of like when we had the polycast, and you want to sit there and tell men, like when we had Tanya on. It was stop watching Pornhub, thinking it's a tutorial. It's not real.
Yeah.
Stop watching fucking war movies from Hollywood and thinking they're real. But we dissected like he felt like one of the best scenes. And guys argue over how good this. I love the movie Extraction.
Yeah,
but if I were a man that happened to like other gorgeous men, I would like that man. I'm just saying. I'm secure enough in my man. I'm like, God damn, that's a good looking dude, man. I don't know one man that's like, God damn, that guy's good looking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they did some things in that movie Extraction that. Oh, what's it now? I forget his name. Thor.
Is that Liam or Chris?
Helmsworth. Chris Helmsworth. Yes.
Yeah, Chris.
Liam's the older brother. Oh, right.
No, I don't remember. I always get them backwards.
Shit, I don't know how that.
Chris, Liam.
Wasn't Liam the one that married?
Oh yeah.
Hannah Montana.
Yeah, so that'd be Chris.
Boy, she's a nut job. No, so that'll be Chris weird. on the movie.
Yeah, Chris.
Chris Helmsworth. So anyway, he did something in that movie, like medically. Like he's like, dude, this shit's. We had on a podcast, and I hear from he's in Afghanistan working out in the gym, listening to the podcast, texting me, going. Actually, in that movie right there, because there were a couple guys that were upset about it. I thought it was great. It was fun. It was action. But this is where I can't wait to talk to Andy Stump. I love Andy. Andy hates fucking war movies. He hates them because all he does is sits and picks them apart and just
I could see why.
Shreds them. But you know what he'll tell you? He'll tell you him and his class that half of those guys fucking joined the teams because of Charlie Sheen.
That's so funny.
Charlie Sheen and Navy SEALs. You can't thank us because we were never here and we don't exist. Even Michael Biehn to this day goes, it was the stupidest. If you look, Michael Biehn is looking over the actor, looking at the director going, this is fucking dumb.
Yeah.
And he goes, you can't thank us because we were never here and we don't exist. And Michael Bihn's just kind of an angry type dude as it is. That's why I was so excited to see Michael Biehn get that role on The Mandalorian. I was like, he gets to do, funny story about that. So he gets to do that role in Mandalorian. Yeah. They tell him what it is, and he goes, I guess in the back, he goes, seriously? God damn it, I'm going to fucking get killed again. Like I've already died by Doc Holliday, and now I got to die by the fucking Mandalorian. When am I going to get my day in the sun? Okay? I guess he's excited to do it. But anyway, stop watching these movies and thinking this shit is real.
Exactly.
Stop thinking that John Wick is going to run through the underground tunnels of fucking Rome and kill 800 guys. Stop fucking thinking that it's real, dude. You get into a real, and they always show these gunfights and all that kind of shit, how long they are. Gunfight is over in 10 seconds. Yeah. It is fast. It is deadly, and you're looking around to see who's hit and who's not.
Yep.
If you get into a long gun fight, well, that shit just fucking sucks.
Yes, it does.
And that's why I liked Benghazi. I thought they showed what those guys did. Little Michael Bay explosion. Michael Bay explosion transfers. But I loved it.
You want some good conversation?
Oh, no.
Ask my father about that movie.
Oh, no.
He gets worked up.
He's on that political side. He gets
Man,
visibly.
That is one you don't talk to him about. You could.
Yeah.
But
So anyway, talking about misusing your equipment.
Yeah.
It's very interesting when I went to that pistol class, that SEAL gave me a little debrief. He says, hey, if something happens, he goes, very thorough.
Yeah.
I got to give those SEALs, they're always very thorough. He says, Jay, if I get hit, I want you to take this piece of gauze, dip it with your finger in this quick clot. I know you've used it. Put it in the wound.
Yep.
I'll hold it over. We'll get me somewhere. I'm like, you want me to put quick clot in it?
Yeah.
And that's when I realized I need to be retrained. If something happens to my wife, my father-in-law, or whatever, the funny running joke is when I took my father-in-law, went with my father-in-law the first time hunting, you saw the medical, he looked at the medical bag, we went up there, he goes, Jay, yeah? He goes, that's not your new freaking bag, is it? I'm like, no. He goes, oh, God, please tell me you're not carrying that. I'm like, that's the first one I carried when I took Jamie's dad in the hill.
I wasn't sure if I was going to buy him a new bag because it seemed like he was very attached to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, well,
actually, I wasn't.
Shit, I just won't. And I never did ask him because I didn't want to offend him. So I finally did. And then he was like, oh, my God, why didn't you buy me this years ago? I was like, because I didn't know you wanted one.
Oh, I had.
I didn't know you needed one.
I had, I'm going.
And he's like, well, I didn't. Oh,
I've
well,
got
this won't much be big. This won't be
I've got
that big of a
Israeli
difference.
bandages
I'm like, are you
in
sure?
there, more than one. I've got enough MREs to keep somebody alive for a day or two. I've got military smoke grenade that I can either confirm or deny how I came
Just
about
for
it.
nostalgia reasons.
I'm ready to call in an
Yeah.
air evac for this guy.
Yep.
Sometimes, by God, my father-in-law is not dying on my watch. The funnier side is, ladies and gentlemen, AC is related to Gemma and has been hunting with Gemma's father. We've told stories about that on here. And with this 50-pound piece of shit backpack, this guy proceeded to march me 13 miles up a mountain. And literally, I felt like it was going to kill me. He marched him so bad when he was younger, getting to the Marine Corps. I was like, fuck, I've done this shit. I don't care, dog. This is all I get. I get to eat after this. I'm not going to get yelled at. Oh, fuck, let's do this shit. But so we talked about, using the tourniquet wrong. Tourniquet's one of the most life-saving things you can have when used correctly. The other problem of it is there's a misconception, and I don't know where this came from. I don't necessarily know if this is Hollywood, but there's this misconception, man, once that tourniquet is gone on, you're going to lose that limb.
Yeah,
No,
that didn't come from Hollywood. I forget where that came from, but that is so not the case. I mean, orthopedic surgeons use tourniquets during orthopedic surgery, and they could be in surgery for hours with a tourniquet on whatever, and then you're not losing your limb. They're just fixing something, and
you're not losing your blood.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a fucking
Well,
concept.
when you explained it the other night, I was like, oh, okay, that makes absolutely
Can
ton of
you?
sense.
I got to be very encryptic before we get into this. Should I hit pause, ask him, and then go from there?
Yeah, because
Okay,
I
hold
gotta
on.
pee.
And we're back. Okay, so we're going to try to get through this here. So, talking about using equipment incorrectly.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so AC, you are training an entity.
Yep, I was training a very interesting special entity.
They were and let's just say that this entity was supposed to be very special. Now we're and hey, we're not talking styrofoam helmet,
Well,
Might as well be.
Well,
from the
yeah.
sounds of it.
So can you, within reason, we won't say where this entity was from, explain what they did? They were going to go through a CQB scenario.
there's
Training. Or
Yeah, there's
scenario?
a CQB. So we've been working with these guys, teaching them first line medicine. So more or less the stuff that all of our soldiers get more or less in basic now, just basic field medicine. So we're explaining tourniquets to them, and we, go over how to use the tourniquets. We make them practice with them, etc. And, they also have to do some CQB training. I'm part of that, and we're working with them. So they're doing this training on this house, and they're going to do a mock hit on this house. They're going to go in and secure this target. And so we're sitting there watching this, and, I wasn't part of the CQB training. I was part of the medical training, but I was still watching to make sure they do their medical right. Well, they proceeded to get out their tourniquets and put them on. And I'm not talking, just pre-placing tourniquets. No.
Yeah.
Put them on and tighten them.
Oh, God.
Oh, yes, this happened. So they put these...
How many limbs did they put these said tourniquets on?
All 4.
The
Okay.
same person?
Gemma, all of them put them on themselves.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Now-
Okay, that makes it even better.
Okay. What happens when you turn and you put on a tourniquet, Gemma?
Cuts off circulation.
Okay.
Yeah.
This comes back to play in this story.
Okay.
Yes. So they proceed to tighten these tourniquets, and they're going to do this hit on this house.
Yeah.
Well, they do their little stack, and then they go in the door. And so it's taken them a few minutes to get through the house. Understandably so. They're kind of new at this. But they only made it halfway through the house. They didn't make it to their actual objective because they kept losing feelings in their limbs and couldn't walk or pick up their guns because the tourniquets were on so tight.
So let me get. Hold on a minute.
It really, no, really.
Let me
It's
get this
really-
straight.
okay,
So
and I did hear this when I was sober. So I'm sitting there going,
So they had their tourniquets on while they're going through
Yes.
the house.
Because if they, in their minds, if they got hit while they were doing this, they wouldn't have to worry about putting the tourniquet on and losing blood because it's already on.
Wow.
I don't even.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. To that.
It's. I don't even. I can't. I can't.
I just came up with.
Oh God. We don't tell these stories to ruin you on air.
So it's like I'm gonna masturbate before I even have sex because that's just the way it should be. That's kind of how that is. How so stupid that is.
You're really
Oh,
eating this
wow.
shit up, aren't you?
I think it's funny. The visual is what really gets me.
Well, and that's what's interesting is the incompetence of, and that's
You,
now,
you almost feel
but-
bad for
well,
them,
but
though.
hold on though. If you think about it, I know that AC didn't train him that way,
No.
and that's what happens when you don't have the right training to begin with, or even the right education.
Yep.
So if you have and you have to have an IFAC for every one of your family members. Not you can't have. I mean, yes. Do I want the big 700-pound or $700 medical bag? I don't know how to use it. I
Yeah.
wish I did. I am, and I've had a lot of training and just that shooting class, and how quick clot, even the application process has changed
Yes.
in a 5-year period. Was embarrassing to me. I literally, in the back of my mind, I was like, well, then shit, I'll just grab a tampon with an applicator, dip that son of a bitch in Quick Clot and put the tampon in there. Okay, yeah, that's good. But you did have to remember that is a temporary fix. Shit's still going wrong inside there.
Yep.
And the one thing that I had known about Quick Clot is if you put too much stuff on there, especially when we first started using it, they needed to treat the wound, but they also had to treat the level 2 and level 3 burn.
Yep.
That you got from having it put on there.
Yeah. And now you don't have to worry about that. They changed the actual formula.
The
too.
formula for it.
Yeah. So, I mean, and it's all about the Quick Clot in this case. but it's also about the pressure.
Mm.
So it's one doesn't really work without the other. You know, you have to have that pressure. So like use QuickClot, you know, or any of the other ones, because there are several out there.
Yeah.
And you use them, and you still have to hold pressure on that for several minutes. Actually, to be technical, book is 5.
Oh, okay.
You have to hold direct
Now-
pressure for 5 minutes.
Now, what I want you to think about, and everyone's always worried about active shooter scenarios. Somebody started shooting the mall. Average shooting is over inside 60 seconds. He just said you have to hold on that QuickClot
Mm-hmm.
for 5 minutes. That's what book says.
Mm-hmm.
When you deviate too far from what they tell you in those things, you're talking AC has learned a situation of medicine, and this is where we get very frustrated.
Yes.
AC could do several things that we talked about. I'm doing research for, we're actually going to do, I think we're going to call it, the working title right now is Point of Contact. And we're going to do a Super Troopers style screenplay about being a contractor.
That would be fun.
Yeah. And I mean, but the humor in it, as dark as it is, it's very real.
Yeah.
So your gunfight is over inside 60 seconds. There's a reason why certain things are said in debriefs. No medicine in a gunfight. First care, self-care. If I get hit, I need to work on myself first. Let everybody else keep fighting.
Yep.
Okay? There's no medicine in a gunfight. You know? So you start thinking about little things like that, and your old school CPR, first aid classes are so archaic and so non-informative that they're a waste of time.
Mm.
AC has a level of medicine of things that we were talking about. For him to work in the civilian sector, I'm trying to figure, and I want you to look at me, and I'm going to use the force on who I'm talking about. Okay?
I think you already know.
Okay. So you have this guy here
Mm-hmm.
who, now we made fun of our drills that we did yesterday on the
Yeah.
last show, but the funnier part, I think what I had to laugh about is we're laughing at each other because we're competing like a son of a bitch. I guarantee you we kicked the fucking shit out of the local police department here yesterday.
Yeah. Even as
I mean,
horrible as we did.
you're literally talking with an M4 platform and a pistol. Inside 25 seconds, I had 35 rounds available, and 33 of them went in the target and missed the hostage on the run.
Mm.
And it was the worst freaking run I have ever made in my life. We are you guys, folks, you got to hear the previous show. We're going to try to put these up on Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, we are dropping mag. But see, that right there shows you what can happen any time of the day.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
fun for us.
Yeah.
That's fun for us. That's literally us having a good old boy. We're going to have a bunch of drinks afterward and have this cock measuring contest, just like we talked about the shooting with the long rifles.
Yeah.
So
That's not intimidating
as-
at all.
well,
Thanks,
and
guys.
but that's the thing is, guys. But I'll tell you, who I would never want to shoot with, and I'm not name dropping, but I've seen him do it. I would never want to shoot with Evan Hafer.
No.
He is the scariest dude. Well, and there's
I would
other
love
people.
to learn from him.
Oh, I would love to sit and play with him.
Or
you
just
know?
even
okay,
watch
that
him.
sounded really weird. That sounded really fucked up right there. So I would just like to sit and go out on a like a play day, play range day with him. I've heard that. I was listening to John Dudley the other day, who was like helping him with like bow hunting, and they were talking about the release with because we were talking about the trapping and the reset with the pistol and the trigger. God, and it sounds like Evan Hafer can he will literally hold his breath for like minutes.
Oh my god.
To increase his shooting. But you have to understand,
How do you do that?
Evan Hafer, see, this is where he will never get enough credit, and he finally came. We were talking about this. He created an SOP with another guy on how 2 operatives could clear a building just with 2 guys.
Yeah.
And they
Oh, that's
practiced
right.
it, and evidently it was perfected. That's why I was pretty happy to hear him kind of come out finally and go, you know what, agency, you screwed me.
Hmm.
And whether people like him is so what? Don't like his coffee. He's a vet. You can't take away the fact he did 48 contract deployments with the attached to the agency. You can't take that from him.
No.
You know, I mean that's just and so but like there are people that are so good at what they do, and that's how I see him about medicine. But yet if you talk to him about it, he's like, dude, I got so fucking far to go. I got so far to go. And that's the thing. I think people need to, so we were talking about how do we prepare? That's where this whole started. Right now, if I had to prepare for a job, I'm going to go spend 4 days with him, and I'm going to do nothing but intensive, okay, how do I use my IFAC correctly?
Yeah.
How do I do this correctly? He doesn't need to tell me how to call in a fucking medevac. I got that. We gave that to the ranch that we stayed at. Oh, speaking of which, I got to get back on that. Hey, because Dan has been having some health issues, and I basically gave a little 5-minute detail, and I've got to get it to her now. On look, you call 911, you tell them that you need a medevac or air life, and you read this out. You read it this way. This is how you say it. You ask them to repeat it to you, and then you say it again. And then they won't answer. Then they will land a helicopter in your front yard. You do that, you will increase your level of readiness by so much that I can't even begin to tell you. So I know how to do that. I need to know how to take care of myself if I get hurt. I get in a gunfight, or I don't know,
whatever.
And I hurt myself at home or what. I mean, that's just the way this shit works. Agent Crayon, do you feel that homes should have those little home defibrillator things?
If the home knows how to use them. That's one of the biggest things is you can have all the tools.
You can have all the Gucci toys you want.
Yeah, but unless you know how to use them, you're still not prepared. Now, home defibrillators, they are great concept, but like I said, you still need to know how to do compressions of the chest, because that's what saves lives. That's what the chest compressions, that's what really, that is it. That is one of the most beneficial things you can do if somebody's in cardiac arrest. Now, a defibrillator will only shock the heart in the case of 2 arrhythmias, and it's a very specialized thing. The odds of your heart being in those, if they're in cardiac arrest, I don't know what the actual odds are, but 50-50, whatever. But even if the heart is in that particular arrhythmia, the compressions are still going to keep the blood circulating and going round and round, perfusing the brain. And there's a lot of science and advanced pathophysiology and stuff like that behind it. But the defibrillator only helps 2 arrhythmias. Okay. So and those 2 arrhythmias, if shocked early, very survivable. No, let me say that. But
Doc, can you just give no you notice how like that stops the thing? Break emergency call. That's you got the Twitch going. Would you give a 5-second or less explanation to some people out there who don't know what a heart arrhythmia is? Okay,
so a heart rhythm is literally that low. So if you've music, rhythm is a consistent beat, and that's all a rhythm is, consistent beat. And arrhythmia is an inconsistent beat.
Oh, okay.
So an arrhythmia is the heart's not beating the right way for one reason or another.
So the big misconception, and I don't think people realize this is a Hollywood thing, I think, is that people think that the defibrillator shocks the heart back. No. It actually stops the heart and resets it.
Exactly.
See, and a lot of people don't realize that.
See, I didn't know that.
That is I watched too much Grey's Anatomy to see the hot dude or the hot chick, and I think that I'm going to shock somebody.
I never understood how they worked anyways.
Right. Yeah. But if you think about it, that's where I feel. I understand you're telling a story, but that's where I feel that you're irresponsible in Hollywood when you show people, things that are not.
Oh yeah.
They're so far from what they are.
Yeah.
Love the Show SEAL Team 6.
Yeah.
They have stayed so true. And I don't get to watch. We don't have TV, but I've seen a few and stuff like that. Even like their camaraderie in the background. I love the fact that they're on a C-130. Tell me if you've been in this situation. They're on this C-130 and this guy's going to go ahead and re-enlist. These guys are sitting around drinking beers on this C-130, and the XO comes up and goes, hey, so-and-so's going to go ahead and re-enlist. We're going to do the swear-in right now.
Yeah.
That was so fucking real to me, because that's when you want to re-enlist and you're at that level, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
And I've encouraged him. He doesn't like – AC does not like audiobooks. He loves to read. But I encouraged him.
So much like my father.
No, but the reason I encouraged him.
It's good though.
I encouraged him to listen to Robert O'Neill's book, The Operator, is his humor in the darkest of shit situations as he's telling the story. This guy's from Montana, and you feel like you're at the bar around a fire and he's telling you these stories because he's just ripping on himself the whole time.
I wonder how the book would be, because you're a fast reader, aren't you?
Very.
Yeah.
That's what bothers him, is that it's too slow.
Same with me. Some of those I'm like, come on, like, well, and
I will tell you, I would
some
never.
Of the books I've read, it's.
I would never do The Witcher.
It's so crazy because you actually start reading faster as the excitement and shit goes on. I'm like,
that's what I tried to do.
Oh, I forgot to breathe.
That's what I tried to do with my audiobooks. That when the excitement picks up,
Yeah.
I try to race my voice because I want people to breathe along with me.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
You should try it with The Well.
You know that there's only one person. He actually has read the second edition.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
And I asked him.
Did you like it?
I did.
Good.
I one night read it. Just
Good.
I asked point blank. Here's the thing.
Would that be real?
Somehow, AC and I have somehow figured out that we were related at one point in our lives, because it is kind of creepy, like some of this stuff we talk about. But I did ask. We were making one of our 4 trips to Grass Range, Montana. This podcast is brought to you by local brewery North Fork, a rye whiskey.
I haven't tried that yet.
We haven't either. You know what? We're not into rye, but it looked really cool.
Yeah. Almost looks like it's got a McGillicuddy's label, but it's not. I'm like, McGillicuddy's doesn't look like that. What the heck?
I'm basically just telling people how much freaking ridiculous amounts of alcohol we've had in the past 5 days. It's just...
You know what's weird?
I don't want a doctor to take my blood right now.
You guys are not slurring or total wasted.
We
just
have
so
trained.
Weird. It's just like in Happy Land.
Hey, we have trained for 20 years on how to be professional alcoholics.
it is true.
Oh my god.
We're the goddamn Delta Force of alcoholism. Literally. You guys love to drink? You goddamn right we do. We love you, Andy Stump. Just answered everything. You goddamn right they drink. But we were in one of our mini trips to get more alcohol in Grass Range, Montana. If you're driving through the Montana area, you got to stop in that little town. Coolest place ever. But I asked him. I asked point blank about some of the stuff in the book.
Yeah.
And what I was most concerned about was how the scene 3/4 of the way through, where there was the medical of where he had to work on the dog. And you brought up a point that I want to talk about.
Okay.
And I'm about to get it. When I get fired up, Queen, tell me to calm down.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
And if I overdo it, it is illegal. It is fucking illegal for a paramedic or EMT in an ambulance to work on a dog, because vets don't want to lose the money. If you have a canine and you are a canine handler inside the United States, you are to load that dog up and find a fucking vet when a paramedic can do just as good a job. And canine medicine is even earlier, because they don't want to lose fucking money.
What about what you've done with your rodeo stuff?
We
with
had that
a
talk.
Vet?
I told him I've had, you know what?
That's illegal.
Oh yeah, you know what? That vet passed away 2 years ago.
Oh, so sad.
Dr. Smith from Northern Wyoming operated on me 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Was a great man.
Yep.
Fuck you people who wanted to do him wrong. And he operated on a lot of cowboys because they didn't have the money. They couldn't go to the doctor. And I'm sorry. I had one doctor do one of my knees and he fucked it up. The guy that was the vet that did my leg, no problems.
And in your your career, if you are doing it for the money, then you should get the hell out.
Well, we talked about that. So I asked about. So would you explain that a little bit, or can you go into that?
Yeah, I can go.
Or have I put you in a really bad situation?
No, you haven't put me in a bad situation at all. Because it's one of those things that I'm passionate about too.
Right.
Because straight up, if officer's canine, in my opinion, the canine is an officer, gets hit, the officer might as well have been hit. Because I'm going to treat him the same. And I've made it a point to take classes on how to treat canines. Because in my profession, we work a lot with dogs.
Yeah.
So that dog is part of the team. Normally, he's the most liked person on the team, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you on that one.
Yeah. So I've made it a point to learn how to work on canine. You know, I've taken classes. You know, when I've taken animals into the vets, I've sat there and picked their brains. I'm like, hey, how would I do this? How do you do this? How, what's the best way to do this? I even have books on different drug profiles for animals. That way I know, because we do carry drugs.
Yeah.
Can I use what drugs I can use on animals and what I can't, and how they're going to affect the animals. Like, I've taken it to the nth degree because I'm passionate about it. So you haven't put me in a bad spot.
So do they have do they have different people for that?
No.
In your unit?
Well, now
is it just
here's where this conversation came up.
Yeah.
I asked if the characters in the book, second edition, due out in March. Brought to you by
Better.
It is. We're gonna do the pictures for it. Hopefully, come up. I'm very excited.
Good.
I really want to get the original Caitlin. I really hope she'll come up. And I mean that the book has been around for 7 years. I feel like she deserves to be on the cover again, but we'll find out about that. Neat woman. She is a sheriff in Adams County, in Colorado.
Yeah.
Freaking hard charging little shit. Well, she's tall as I am, little shit, but just an amazing one. Anyway, so we got on the conversation about it because that's when he brought that up. I said, the surgery that was done on the dog, was it done right? Yes.
Nice.
So we were talking about it. I said the surgery she did on him, everything on how they made homemade saline. Now, the homemade saline, that one freaked me out because I never got a definitive answer on that one.
Yeah.
That was the one that worried me because I had one guy say, it will work.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's the but? And he goes, they might be a little sick.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about that homemade saline sometime.
Yeah.
Like if it really is possible.
I
that
almost
type of
forgot
scenario.
about that part.
Yeah.
I'll have to reread the book.
Because she has to basically operate on the dog and him when they get attacked. This is a fictional book, ladies and gentlemen. It actually was a precursor. There was a prophet named J. Michael Ray who saw the COVID virus coming, and I am the prophet that said that.
Pretty dang close.
It is pretty freaking weird and creepy.
Yeah, it is.
I wrote the book 7 years ago, and I have fans. I'm like, please don't call up the radio station and talk about this stuff. They're like, you're the prophet. You knew it was coming. Oh, you work for the government. That's how we know it's like, oh my God, dude, it's a fictional book.
You just wanted accurate.
But was it? No, I'm just kidding.
You just wanted not to be.
I wanted everything to be as accurate as possible.
Well, why wouldn't you?
So the only thing that people from the medical field and what it is, I just haven't got a full on.
Yeah.
Everybody's question going. Here's the thing.
Would
They're
it
like,
work?
well, it was about them making the saline to keep both of them alive.
Yeah.
And
I will tell you, saline in trauma, very bad, very very bad.
Really?
Yep. Very bad. We don't even use it in trauma anymore.
No kidding.
Yep. Well, downrange. Civilian, little bit different story because you work with what you got. We have a little bit more toys to play with.
Right.
But because it only stays in the vascular space for such a short period that by increasing the pressure with the saline, you're starting to, you'll blow the clot basically, and then it's out of the system anyway. So not only did you just blow the clot because you increased pressure to that point, that now you're diluting everything to the point where everything's ineffective. And they actually, certain, I'm trying to figure out how to say this without getting too technical, because I go down that rabbit hole a lot.
You love that rabbit hole.
Oh,
It's your home.
it is.
It's your happy place.
I am like Alice.
He's got a vacation home down there too.
Yeah. It's, but it can mess with a lot of their different levels in their blood. Is the best way I can describe it. So saline's very bad. Very, very bad. It can
Really?
cause a lot of problems and trauma. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so I know who I'll be
Note to
using
self.
for my. Well, the reason we got up in this conversation is we were talking. As I said, was it legit? He goes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Your scene was legit. I'm like, okay, that makes me feel good. So we were talking about it. He goes, you know how easy canine medicine is. I'm like, okay, because my question was, as we started talking about this, was when you hear the story and you hear it in several different books, it's said several different ways, but the story is all the same. When Robert O'Neill's team was out chasing an HVT, sorry, acronym, high value target.
I got it, but
The-
audience didn't.
I encourage people to read Robert O'Neill's book, The Operator, because it has absolutely hardly anything to do with the Bin Laden hit.
No,
It has
it
almost
doesn't.
nothing.
The end. That's
It is
maybe
it is
15,
it is a
20
guy
minutes,
who
but-
just did some fucktard mistakes here and there in his life and went on to be a SEAL. And
how he got treated. I was really
well,
upset
that's
about that.
we talk. You know what?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to
That's
stay off that one because
ridiculous.
we have talked about that's exactly what the contractor community does also in the end.
Yep.
Why that's my anger at veterans. That's why I like some of these veterans that have gone after Black Rifle. I'm like, dude, why?
Yeah.
Why? You are coming after them on a uneducated, you're not even using the right information. People were pissed off because Evan Hafer gave $500 to a Democratic thing. He did it in 2008, which was 5 or 6 years before he ever even created the company Black Rifle.
Well,
you
they
know
took
what?
it out of context.
And that's the thing. I'm sorry. Evan Hafer is an exceptionally educated man and is exceptionally smart. He may vote differently than I am. Gosh, it doesn't mean I don't like his product. And gosh, it doesn't mean he's not an American. Shut your fucking mouth, you fat trucker hat wearing motherfucker who sits in his house and goes, I want my guns, America. No, dude, you're a fucking douche. You're as big of a fucking embarrassment as the goddamn liberals as far as I'm concerned. And I'm going to go ahead and step off the... there's the red light from the Queen to step off the... Okay, I'm better. I'm back.
Are
But
you sure?
no, what was interesting is that the... because SEALs go to... Their medics go to 18 Delta.
Okay.
When Cairo got hit, that dog lived because... Bang! They went right to work
Yep.
on, and this is how it brought us up
Yeah.
talking about this. They went to work on that dog the exact same way they would work on a human. They did everything they did for trauma, and they flew him to Germany to be worked on by human doctors. Now, why in America is that a fucking problem? Well, veterinarians want their money.
More or less. Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah, and there's-
basically.
And there's a
Just like
couple
anybody
states that
else.
this has actually been brought up to. So, and I forget which states. It's actually becoming more and more of a thing that they're allowing working canines. This is now, I'm not going to, somebody's family dog, that gets injured, call 911, paramedic's going to work on them. No. But that's also one of the problems is by enacting these laws that say, yes, you can. Some of the people are taking it to that higher degree and saying, well, you can work on a family dog. Yes, I love my dogs. I'm a huge dog fan. However, don't call 911
Yeah.
for you. I mean, but if it's an officer's canine, okay, well, it's a working dog and he deserves every
Yeah.
shot. do I want to work on a family's pet? Absolutely. Because that's part of the family in my book.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's when you start that whole splitting hairs thing, and that's the problems that therein lie. And a lot of states have approached this, and several states have actually enacted laws and regulations saying, hey, an officer's canine is an officer. Paramedics can work on it to the point where they can get it to a vet if that paramedics had the training, because it is a little different.
So is it true then that if you're wanting to be a vet, you have to do 4 years animal and 4 years human? Because I was always
I have
told
to be
that.
honest with you. I don't know that answer.
I don't think so. I know a lot of veterinary school is very hard to get into.
It's
Very
exceptionally hard.
I mean, you've got to be an exceptionally smart individual most of the time to get into it, and it's extremely competitive.
And I do know, if you read my book, The Well, in the end, they start talking about Colonel Robertson. Colonel Robertson is actually a real person. Colonel Robertson is whose funeral we were supposed to go to shortly after my mom passed. Miss Jean. And so if you read the beginning of my books, Jean and Ed Robertson, they were family to me. I worked on their ranch from the time I was 13 years old till I was in my late 20s. They're great people. Many memories of the Serendipity Ranch in Conifer, Colorado. But their daughter went to CSU Veterinary School, which CSU, Colorado, has one of the premier veterinary schools in the world. And I know to get in there was harder than getting into Harvard Medical School. That's a fact. People can argue whether they want or not. Now, what they do is amazing. Now, I have a different take on pets. And this is where I challenge people. This is JMR's view, not AC's view, not the Queen's view. People watch too much fucking Disney. Your dog doesn't talk to you. He doesn't have feelings. There is a bond that you can grow between you two, but that dog does not give a fuck if you live or die. How do I know this? Oh, have you done any field work in the medical side of in America? Have you done it? Right. Okay.
Yeah, I do whenever I can.
I can't tell you how many times I went to a house in law enforcement as a courtesy call when somebody had been notified, hey, I think my grandma died. Hey, I think my aunt died. And we go there. They've only been dead a day, maybe 2. And little Fluffy, the fucking Chihuahua, has already gnawed off half the fucking leg. They haven't been starving to death that long. You're dead. You're decomposed. You're dog food. Your dog doesn't love you. I'm sorry. Stop watching Disney. The animals don't talk. Oh boy, and Gemma is looking at me right now so fucking mad. They don't have feelings. They don't, do they hurt? Most definitely. You know what they have? They have fight or flight. I need to stay alive to keep my species alive because they're part of the ecosystem. That is part of their dunna. Okay? But, so that's where when it comes to in the field, if I'm going to save Aunt Mildred or I'm going to save the neighbor's fucking Cocker Spaniel.
Yeah.
That's, you said you're splitting hairs. At what point are we at that weird place of
I'm sure his take though.
I'm sure that there are vegans that would are going to rail me so hard right now.
Well, I do like his take that I didn't think about before.
What's that?
Of if it was a sheriff's or officer's dog, that's different.
Yeah.
And I'd never thought of that before.
I'm going to say something that people aren't going to like. What I don't know how you feel about this, AC. Man. Because, man, this can hit you home, and it has. Cop pulls me over for a routine stop. Checking my go ahead and drink, ladies and gentlemen. If you've listened to Jim and Jay show, you know that the train horn is your is your invitation to drink or whatever
Pack
you
your
do.
shit. Pack
And
your
what it
shit.
is just I'm tired of freaking trying to get
Yep.
the damn trains
Yep.
edited out of
Embrace it.
shows. Embrace
Yep.
embrace the suck.
suck.
Jink Coke. No, and hey, I this is gonna sound weird, man. I'm sure there'll be an argument. This has happened in Montana, not too far from us, a couple months ago. Horrible story. Horrible fucking disgusting story. Truck's had some issues on the side of the road. Tow truck is up there trying to help this thing get out. Some fucking asshole doesn't, and I hope that motherfucker dies. I'm sorry, folks, because the car did not slow down. Now he almost hit the cop, but
Okay, what's the situation? I got lost.
there were vehicles on the side of the road, and the police were there, and they were helping and stuff like that.
Sorry.
Some asshole coming along decided he didn't feel the need to stop doing 65 miles an hour on a snowy road. Could not swerve, and hit and killed instantly 2 tow truck drivers and almost hit the cop.
Oh my God.
And sits there and goes, "Well, I didn't mean to." I don't give a fuck if you didn't mean to. When you are behind that pedal, you're behind that trigger. I'm sorry, but cop hits me, or somebody hits me and that cop, and it comes down to the ambulances that we can only take one right now. I got to be honest with you. I'm going to be
They're
like, you know
probably
what?
going to take the sheriff.
I'm going to tell him to take the cop. This guy's family has had to go through this every fucking day since he's been on the goddamn job. Try to save him first. Yeah. I've had a good life. I had a great wife.
No.
I know it upsets you.
No. I'm going to throw a monkey wrench. What if the cop's an asshole?
Well, but I don't know that. And it's kind of like when you help that person on the side of the street that's begging for money.
You don't know.
I give them $5. They may be a scam artist.
Yeah.
But for me, that's just my feeling. That's like, man, this wife has had to get up and deal with this every day, and every ounce of her worst fears are coming true right now. I know he's got a better chance than me because it's going to go over the radio that Officer Smith has been hit. He's in critical condition. You know what cops do? It's what Army does. Who has O positive, and who has Officer Smith is B. I think they can all take the same. But if he's got B negative, he can still take O positive for a transfusion, right?
Yes.
O positive goes to everybody.
Yep, it's the universal blood.
Right. So he's got B negative. Hey, you got B negative. Get to the hospital. Are you O positive?
Kind of like a guardian situation.
B can take O. O can't take B.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
And so first you want to get the actual blood that they have. If you got B negative, get there. Hey, but you got O positive, get your ass to the hospital. Officer Smith is going to need some blood. He's got that support group. Get him started. Somebody will come for me. But
I thought they did who's the most critical. That's what I thought.
That is what I was about to bring up.
Right.
Now, there's a little caveat to that, is the first responder community, firefighters, police, and EMS, it's one of those small, tight communities because we all have the same sucky job, more or less. So
overworked to deal with the worst of the worst.
Yep.
Death every day and get paid dick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is stupid.
And that's like we were talking. We talk about Agent Crayon here and what he's done. This man has taken. Why do you keep laughing at that? It's like we're gonna have T-shirts of Agent Crayon. Agent Crayon is gonna be an international superstar. Okay, but this guy has protected the list, and I probably can't go into a lot of it.
No.
But we're talking ambassadors. We're talking high-ranking officials. When I say high-ranking officials, we're close to the very top. This guy has done this, and if he gets a job for AMS, some short 70-pound overweight EMT is going to be able to tell him what to do when he first starts.
So
and
sickening.
I cannot
sickening.
fucking stand that shit. I cannot. I did. But here's the difference. Agent Crayon and I had a conversation. He knows how to do some shit. Do some good shit. He's like, I would rather lose my license to save somebody's life.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference.
Yep.
Somewhere
how is
in.
it I'd rather be judged by
I'd rather be
does that
judged
go?
by 12 than buried by
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that they need to feel that way.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like we talked about some procedures that I'm pursuing for my next book. I was like, all right, again, give me some. What were we talking about? Because they showed it in Black Hawk Down. And I said, can someone survive trauma to the femoral artery and without modern medicine survive?
Oh, that's right.
Holy shit, did I take him down a rabbit hole?
Yeah.
This motherfucker got up, poured 2 shots, and we were up until 1 in the morning. On him, and he's like, well, no, there's this. And he immediately, somehow, he turns into the American James Bond when, like, he starts getting on these tangents, you know? And he's like, well, no, if we take this, and we do this and this, and I'm sitting there going, it's going so fucking far over my head. Now, in my defense, I had a bottle of whiskey that day. But it was
so
still
did I.
amazing. That's true. That's the thing. That's the fucked up thing. I'm like,
Well, the one of the things that frustrates me, and I know it's also, exploded on movies and stuff like that, is how medics can save one person, or that it doesn't happen that way.
Oh.
And
you
you're
wanna
not
get me-
licensed.
hold on.
But
Yeah.
and you're not licensed.
Ooh, did you see Agent
But
Crayon about ready to
I
pull
know
out a gun?
I don't like it either. I think it's total bullshit.
Yeah.
I think it's fucking total bullshit. But if it doesn't go the way that their family wants it to, that they can automatically sue the medic.
No, they cannot. There is a law in the United States now called the
Oh,
Good
there
Samaritan.
is. Okay,
Oh,
because
Hold on.
Whoa.
Okay, now let me say what I was going to say. You correct, because a lot of people.
'Cause I'm not
believe,
sure either
hold on,
way.
because a lot of people believe this. When I was going through my TAC med school 7 years ago,
look at him adjust.
boy, he is getting wound up. He adjusted, and
Ooh, yeah.
oh shit. Okay, we're about to.
I
touch-
solely apologize for what we're about to
we're
say.
about to touch on this. So we were told. This is what I was told.
Yeah,
That if you have
I'm listening.
first aid, EMT,
Mm-hmm.
or even like with my TAC med and stuff like that, and somebody's hurt on the side of the road, you are exempt if you have stopped and tried to do with what was in your wheelhouse. It doesn't work. The family cannot sue you.
Okay, so if
Hold on, but
explain
that's
say
legality.
That again. So if
I like with the TAC med that I have right now, which I feel extremely inferior for, which I would venture to say we have come up with a concept. I don't know if I want to say the concept that I've been pursuing, but we are. You don't think I should? Don't think I should talk about
Nope.
that
nope,
situation?
No, I don't think so. Not
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
that's a lot of nope.
That's a whole hell of a lot. Okay, since you both are like,
Nope.
I'm just excited about it.
I know,
Anyway,
but nope.
don't do it.
Don't do it.
So, the problem. Okay, so I
You were all
stopped and I
excited.
was, man, but I
No.
I got shut. I know why I should have got shut down, because somebody will take that concept. and run with it.
Yes.
Yep.
Anyway, so I stop and I help somebody on the side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
I do with what's in my wheelhouse and with what I know.
Mm-hmm.
I try to help. Person dies.
Mm-hmm.
Legally, I cannot be held legally responsible for that, because I tried with what I knew was in my wheelhouse. I do feel, I think, that I can still be sued civilly for some type of negligence. I don't know how that works, but I was told if I had a certain medical level of EMT or above, that even the civil suit, they can't go through with it, because it had, you went with him with what you know. Now, there's also a situation, and I don't know how this works in America, that if you're if you're him, we come up on an accident, he's like, I'm not working tonight. I don't give a shit.
Well, that's what I was talking
Hold on.
about.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not working tonight. I don't give a shit. And they find out that he has the certification of, they can sue him for not, or like a nurse who are like, no, I'm not doing anything. I'm not getting sued over this bullshit. The family can sue that he did not try within his
That's what I mean.
means
It's a
of-
double standard.
It's a very weird situation,
Yeah,
and I
and
don't know
you're
how they
damned if
work.
you're due.
Yeah, and it's okay, and it depends on the state. That's where this
Right.
even gets
Okay.
even worse.
So now what I have heard is like somebody like you,
Yeah.
They come to him and go, "Why didn't you try to help?" "I've been drinking tonight." Done deal. He went the red road. He took the right
That's
path.
fair.
And even if he wasn't drinking, I mean, it's
Yeah.
But still,
And it's more of a double-edged sword than you realize, because yes, there is a responsibility to act. Responsibility to do the best of my ability. That can bite me in the ass too. If I do certain procedures that are quote unquote outside of my protocols, and let's say I'm working in the States, because as a emergency medical, in that field, EMT, AEMT, paramedic, I actually don't operate under my own license. I operate under a medical director's license.
This was you know what, this we can't get into this, but
Yeah.
but this is some knowledge you should know, because boy, I'll tell you what,
I just was always
this is why the
wondered
contracting
about
world,
that.
because I found out, I was looking, we were getting ready to do the show today, not only does he operate under a medical person's license, if I am doing PSD for certain delegates and we come under fire, there's an emergency act that I am operating under the United States military, depending on how I handle my.
God.
And it only came around a couple of years ago, and I don't have any facts on it. I don't have, so I got to look into it. I got to get into it, because there were too many contractors that were getting into some firefights, and then the country was going after them. I will tell you right now, Afghanistan is fucked up enough for a while, and I want to get back to what you were talking about, just so you know what I'm talking about. They weren't telling, if you were a contractor, your plane ticket in and out of Afghanistan, you were instructed to get it as an open-ended ticket, so you could take any flight. You had to have what we call our bug-out kit. I carried 10 pieces of gold, $1,000 in American cash, and 2 cartons of Marlboro cigarettes.
Well, a little wickish.
Because I could literally with that buy my way out of the country. And if there was a time during the Obama administration where contractors were getting tickets, like speeding tickets, like out on some fucking shit ass dirt road in Afghanistan, and they're trying to arrest them, and they want these Americans to stay in jail for a year.
Oh gosh.
Now I'll tell you right now, you put me in an Afghani prison, and those guys come at me, I'm killing somebody. Well, that's kind of what they wanted. And this was during the Obama administration. He left us. His administration left us hanging. So these are where these legalities come into play. And so what we were talking about is Agent Crayon knows how to do things that here could get him in a shit ton of trouble.
Yeah.
But over there, he would be expected to do. And his medical knowledge is so far above your local AMS. But AMS is a scam company. They hire the most hardly experienced people. They get these contracts with cities that are running low on money. And actually, I think AMS is our ambulance provider here.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of their.
Have you?
Yeah.
And I have told Gemma, you do whatever you have to do to get me in the fucking car and get me to a hospital. Don't put me in one of those ambulances.
It makes more sense.
Because their contract is so fucked up and they can't get along with each other in the city. They will drive to a road we have out here called Shiloh. We're talking people that are in massive critical care, and they exchange the patient because they can't just drive an extra 5 miles into the hospital.
So stupid.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
And their medical protocols are garbage. They're not about the best treatment for the patient. They're about what they call cookbook medicine. If this, do this. If this, do this. Because they're more worried about saving their asses and legalities and liabilities than they are actually doing a good job, having a solid knowledge base, treating the patient to the best of your ability, short-term, long-term, and getting them to the hospital. They're literally more worried about billing, legality, and cookbook medicine. They're notorious in the EMS
and
world.
To give everybody a rough idea, there's another thing that we use for it. It's cookie cutter medicine too.
Yeah, cookie cutter medicine.
Yeah, because you are Well, if 1 and 1 was 4, then the way that we will legally protect you is if you do 5.
Yep.
But you may need to do 6. You may need to jump a step and go to 7. But that didn't
But
come
they won't
underneath
do
our
that.
protocols. This is what will save the patient. But you know what? We're more concerned about getting that. God, now an ambulance ride like right now is like
I think it's close to 10,000.
it's $5,000 if you have to do a 911 ambulance ride.
And what's okay, if you, and that in itself is fucked up beyond belief.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, because the way the billing works in an ambulance, so every procedure you do is a different billing code, just like in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So, they'll do your basic, there's like 3 or 4 or 5 that's automatic checked off the box just by showing up. It's one of those, that's how it works. But then they encourage their medics to do extra procedures, extra assessments, extra whatever to bump up, because you do so many assessments and procedures and things. It makes it a ALS call, advanced life support call, which they can bill more for, even though the patient might have just twisted their ankle and need a ride to the hospital because that's, they twisted their ankle, I have no way to get to the hospital. Hey, 911. They'll make it an ALS call by putting on a 12-lead EKG and doing all this other stuff that's unneeded. And it's not only encouraged, if you don't do it, you'll get wrote up for it.
So stupid.
Because it's under their protocols. and
they want to bill more because that way they make more money.
Yeah.
I told AC that I'm helping the mayor in this town run for office. You can't believe how I'm going to go after AMS, how much money they're charging this town when this guy gets in. I am going to make it my personal vendetta to fuck that company and get it back into our local hands here. JMR for president 2024. Sorry.
Well,
but
that
no.
was a campaign. Yeah, I was mesmerized. I was like, huh? Yes.
Got my vote.
Yes.
Ray AC
Whatever
2024.
you said, Massa. Yes.
I am not a crook. But no, I mean, it's one of those things where these companies, I mean, the thing of it is they don't have medical professionals selling their contracts. They got lawyers.
Yep.
So
They got lawyers.
And that's a big problem with the entire medical industry, though. Let's be real honest.
Let's
here.
let's go down. Oh, do we really go down that rabbit hole?
Well, let me. It's a big,
No, because when he goes down a rabbit hole, we go all the way.
Oh, yeah, we bounce off the bottom and go back down.
There's so many jokes I want to say to that.
bottoms up.
I was waiting for him.
We knock out the bottom and we go back for more.
But I blame it on the whole. Oh, you can sue the doctor.
Sue happy. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Is now all these people suing for stupid bullshit fucking reasons that now the hospitals have to. They have
Probably
to
2 inches.
That's what
2 inches
she
may
said.
make 2 inches may make the difference, baby.
Well, that's fucking true. Sorry.
But it's one of those, and that's a big problem with
Oh.
a lot of things is
What?
Nothing. Go
sue happy people, and then you have to and that's one of the problems with the whole industry is sue happy people, and they've made it that they have to alter the way they do business in order to protect them financially and not protect the patients. It's all about doing what's right by the patients, and now it's all
Well, and
what's
what
doing right
I
by the
feel that
checkbook.
what you have is you also have then, and this stuff's happened. I've had several surgeries. Drink. The VA's horrible about what I'm about to say here.
Oh, yeah.
I had a buddy that went in for a knee surgery, and he woke up, and it only took him 5 minutes, and he grabbed the nurse by the throat. Oh, man. He said, "You operated on the wrong fucking knee."
Oh my God.
They put him right back under and operated on. His wife was there and got it on video. On video, they said, "Well, while we were there, we realized you would most likely need orthoscopic surgery on the other knee." He goes, "No, my wife got it." Now, this is what freaked me out because I did this in a surgery. I had a knee surgery, one of my many, on my left knee. On my right leg, I wrote in Sharpie, not something that was going to wear off. I wrote in Sharpie ink on my leg, wrong leg, arrows pointing, not this fucking leg, operate on that one. My doctor goes, I take it you didn't have confidence in me. This was Dr. Wells, and I looked at Dr. Wells, I'm like, no, I know that 5 surgeries ago you operated on the wrong fucking leg, and because my doctor, Dr. Cruz, was not here, I don't want
Ooh.
you fucking up. Dr. Wells would never see me ever again.
Good.
Now, was that his fault? I don't know.
Who knows?
There's so much shit before he went in there. Who prepped the leg?
Yeah.
Yep.
Who did this? Who did that? Who wrote up the, did he go through the protocols, his flight list, and then fuck up and operate on the wrong leg? Because when I got in there and I had doctors, my doctors were never even in there. They'd prep my leg. They had everything ready. And then, or because I've had so many surgeries on my lower extremities, and they would sit there, and my favorite one for the anesthesiologists were, okay, we're going to count backwards from 10. Motherfucker, this ain't my first rodeo. Let's just...
You know what I was freaked out about is when they stuck that huge ass needle. It was like jarring. It was mind fuckery because I didn't know whether to scream, whether it felt weird or just a lot of pressure.
Was this during
like,
your shoulder surgery?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I remember.
You weren't supposed to. I can tell you
Well,
that right
that part
now.
I remember.
Ooh,
well,
good
they took me in
times.
the back, and it was just this weird. Dude, that needle was not
So
small by any
you know
fucking means.
I don't want to get too far from the tangent, but you have these doctors who have fucked up.
Yeah.
And doctors are so terrified now. But now here, I think we've seen the other side of it. You got this ambulance chasing. Okay, I'm going to bring up a different subject to see if you see where I'm coming from a different way. I am so tired in emails and stuff like that I have nothing to do with this on this stuff. Talking about, are you a veteran that has hearing loss? You are entitled to compensation because your ear protection was not adequate enough. Motherfucker, I was shooting a goddamn M60 for 2.5 years of my life next to my head. I knew what I was getting into. You pieces of shit are just trying to make money out of this. That's how I feel. I mean, and here's the problem. I'm not going to stop shooting guns. I'm just saying. So that's the thing with where medicine is going. They're just
Well, then you've got the good people that have to adjust for the bad people that are around to cover their ass, going, hey, we can't be as nice or do this anymore, because we do have people that are so happy. Those are the sad situations.
And that's
you're trying to
that brings
do
us
right
back around to what you were talking about.
Yeah.
How do you get around it? Oh, that was
to me, I've never been in that situation.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of with
AC.
Thank you. that I'd be willing to lose my license to save somebody. Yeah. To me, that's where that's,
we had a talk about like if we got into a.
But that's a lot of hard work.
We had a talk.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's a tough call.
We had a talk about if we got into an altercation, that firepower was required. Mm-hmm. And let's say that AC and I went into a store. Something for these folks went very wrong. The wrong bad guy picked the wrong day to do something. Yeah. And 3 of these guys end up dead on the fucking floor.
Now I know where you're going with this. God, I fucking hate you right now.
And that's when AC and I walk up to the store clerks and go, where are your tapes? Mm-hmm. You need to erase them. No. We were never here. We are SEAL Team 6. We do not exist. I was in the Navy. My name is Andy Stump. No. My name is John Smith.
Because you know what's exactly going to say. Yeah. Vets win on rampage.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
It's going to be out of context.
And, you pick up one of the guns. You go, look, you need to hold these people at bay. We are leaving. You need to, even if you take your recording device and destroy it, you need to do so. And then we would pick up our brass, keep our hats down, quietly exit. And if they say who came, just say, holy fucking shit, Batman saved my life. I'm not doing it because I want to. I'm not doing it because I feel like it's something I want. I carry a firearm in hopes that I swear on God as my witness, I never want to have to use another one ever again. And medicine, what did we talk about? I said, had you ever done an emergency tracheotomy?
Yeah.
We started talking about some legit emergency situations. And as the alcohol flowed, I kept pushing him harder and harder and harder. He's like, oh, no, I got this shit, dude. Let me tell you what I would do. I'm going, you're really fucking starting to scare me with this shit that you would be willing to do.
I think tracheotomies are fascinating.
And if I puncture this rib into the lung, I'm going, whoa, fuck, that's got to hurt. You're going to live. Okay. You know.
I think it's very fascinating.
It is. And I mean, the
to me, it's
shit
hard
they can
intense
do.
work, but it's fascinating.
You know, they're so... Okay, let's go to something fun. We went on some stuff that
You're so
I
morbid.
mean, oh no, AC. We talked about that legal stuff, and AC stat up over there. He got pissed, so I can see that that's not something you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's one of those. It's such a double-edged sword between trying to do the right thing, and do the right thing. I don't know another way of putting it.
Well, but sometimes it's not even like doing the right thing, and you're not doing the right thing. Like this is the morally right thing to do. No, maybe me putting this needle here is the right thing to do to save the day, but the lawyers aren't going to like what I do.
What was that?
Now I'm going to sue you because I have a hole in my fucking neck. You know what I mean?
Have you ever noticed how the two professions that are the most fucked up right now, if you think about this, medicine is considered a practice. It's not black and white science, right?
No, it is absolutely not. Ever changing.
So's law.
Yep.
It's a law practice.
Ooh. Play words.
You have two practices that are fucking up the world because they're in bed together.
Oh, yeah.
That's my opinion.
No.
JMR 2024. So when we were talking about medicine earlier, and like if you fuck it up,
yeah,
you know, and like people who do it wrong. Tell me some movies you've seen where you saw some legit real shit.
Legit real medicine.
Like where real medics are going like, oh, okay, ooh, because like I've seen some firefights.
Yeah.
Where I was like, okay, that was a legitimate.
Yeah.
There were a couple fights in Benghazi. I was like, oh, okay. Ooh, that was kind of rough. That's kind of how that would go. And it would be really quick. It's not fast, you know?
Yep. That was actually one where they did do application for a tourniquet correctly.
Really?
When, and I forget.
What's his name? His arm got blown apart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't bleeding a lot, which actually that doesn't, you know, you might have your arm all messed up. It might not be. But then
and listening to his account of when he stood up and his arm was hanging on by muscle.
Yeah.
It was as bad as what I think that was Oz.
They portrayed it to
Yeah,
be.
I think it was.
Yeah, I think that was Ozgeist. And when he stood up and his arm was that fucked up, it was as bad as the movie portrayed it. And even, I guess, man, I hope we're getting this one right, man, because I know some of these guys. Like, not personally on my speed dial, but guys, if I get it wrong, I apologize.
Yeah, I do too. I have mad respect for you guys.
But the way that they portrayed a lot of that stuff was mad right on, you know? And so the part when he's got the trauma, he says, grab the trauma shears, take off my shit and look for holes.
Yep. Whoa, those will cut more. Those cut too. That was pretty good. And the application of the tourniquet, like when he really cinched it down and, you know,
popped it behind the thing there.
Yep, that was really good. But yeah, they actually had some pretty close in that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're the only ones that actually laughed in the movie theater about that.
No, hold on. The only one that actually laughed was you. You burst out in laughing so hard. So the part when one of the guys were you know what, hold on a second. I'm going to keep telling the story, but I want to look up because
we haven't watched it in a while, so I can't remember.
And for me, a while is I haven't watched it in like 6 months, so therefore I'm forgetting everything about it.
Yeah.
And
we used to watch it religiously every week.
Yeah.
Well, not every week, but it was a fun movie for us to watch. So give me a second here.
Are you gonna look up the scene?
No, I want to make sure. No, I want to make sure we're talking about the right actors. and
Oh, okay.
Who
yeah.
were playing the right people.
Oh, yeah. That
Let's
makes
see
sense.
here.
That's legit.
Stand by, folks. Because here's what's funny is I get everything right until I get on the air, and then I forget
It's like
names,
you become
dates.
dumb. I don't get it either.
I don't like becoming a moron, you know.
Look like a Joe Rogan. He has Jamie look up his shit.
He has to have Jamie look everything up.
Jamie, look it up.
Let's see here. Yeah, because Max Martini played Oz Guys, and Max Martini, who did one of the most painful soldier movies I've ever seen. What was that movie he did? Sergeant Bill Garner or whatever
God,
it was.
no, that's like $1 Million
was that?
Baby.
Have you
That's
seen
a one
that?
thing. If you want to cry your eyes out, that's
Hold
the
on,
way
I'm
to
just
do
gonna.
it.
We won't stay on it, but I want you to keep it in the back of your mind, bro. It was
So horrible.
No, it wasn't horrible.
It's not
Gemma,
a horrible movie.
It was just so
real.
Sergeant Will Garner.
It was so.
Have you seen that?
Oh damn.
I don't think so, actually.
Dude, okay, you know what? That's one of those things where you're going to have some booze.
Yeah.
I suggest you have some friendly company with you to do some snuggling because I never saw this movie going the route that it did.
That's right. Okay.
Don't.
No. I just had to remember. I'm like, wait a minute. Which one was it? Yeah. It's pretty
never
rough.
saw it. But I think it's when Boone, the sniper, like one of the parts in that movie I thought was real. Is like, I forgot my goddamn ear protection, and he's like, "You got any
It's
tampons?"
It's fucking loud.
And he's putting the tampons in his
No,
ear.
he's
He's
putting
like, "Fuck you," you know, like,
putting the putting the cotton in his
cotton in his ears. And he's like,
nice tampons.
Yeah.
nice tampon. Fuck you. But when he takes that shot and hits that dude with that fucking RPG, he shoots that dude like right in the freaking throat, and that RPG blows up the 3 dudes in front of him.
Oh my god.
Gemma starts laughing
I'm like,
her
Karma's
ass
a bitch,
off.
asshole.
And this theater that we're in, because we had been given tickets to the opening night by some people.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And so it was a full theater, but people,
God, it was so loud.
we're laughing, and people are looking at us like we are inappropriate as fuck.
Yeah.
We probably were. You know.
Well, you gotta understand the humor. Like in our world, that stuff happens.
that is
and
humor.
it
You
is
have to understand that it is the darkest, ugliest part of human
I just
behavior.
thought it was ironically funny.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, you motherfuckers
It
deserve that
was.
shit. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, and some of the other lines that were in that movie.
Yeah, it was
Like,
pretty
I don't
good.
know if I feel lucky or unlucky.
Yeah.
When he took the round in the plate.
It's like, you know, I'm gonna have to break up with him before we go.
That was my favorite part. He's like, you know, I'm gonna have to break up with him before we go.
Like, that is so funny.
or the sheet that divides the room.
Yeah.
And this is to prevent snuggling. Flings it open.
That was so good. Okay, so there's not that much medical in that one. Where else was some good meta? Okay, we talked about this. Ready for this one? We had this talk.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you need to get your notepad out because you're going to get some medical advisement. No, the equalizer on using honey.
Yep.
Doc.
You said that too.
Yeah, I did, but I didn't know why. I just knew I was supposed to do it. Doc, would you please give us a small explanation on how
I'm
fucking
excited.
critical this? Oh, he is. Oh, we have reinvigorated the Doc, and he's like, you know
He's
what?
Like, excuse me.
In the words of Andy Stump, you goddamn right, I'll tell you.
Goddamn right we are.
You goddamn right, I'll tell you.
Yeah. So the scene that we're referring to is when the bullet grazed his thigh? Yeah, it was his thigh. Mm-hmm. And he heats up the honey and he places the honey on his thigh and then he puts the bandage over it. Well, the interesting thing about honey is bacteria can't grow in it because it's a pure sugar environment. And there's a particular thing about honey, it just doesn't grow bacteria. That's why, prime example, the rings on your toilets when you put your toilet on that goes into the sewer, that's why it's made of beeswax.
No shit.
It's why it
Oh,
doesn't.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
that's why. Because it doesn't grow bacteria. It doesn't allow that stuff. It's one of those very unique principles of beeswax and honey.
That's so cool.
So when he did that, he's not only treating it by, covering it, and the wax will help with it's what's called osmotic pressure, and the science behind it's actually very cool. I will geek out about it all day. But by putting that honey on it, he's preventing an infection. Like it's one of those great field medicine tricks.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So you definitely
is that why you I know it's a little off subject, but is that why you can eat raw honey?
Yes. Well, children
or
can't. Children can't.
Oh, okay.
And that's a whole different thing altogether.
Okay.
But because there is something.
Don't ruin our flow with being able to save a bullet wound with honey.
Yeah.
I mean, when I found out that was
cool.
legit stuff.
That is awesome.
Yep.
So that was like a legit, real
is
deal.
really
They did
cool.
their homework on that scene.
So it's kind of one of those things like, and that's what he told me. He said, make sure we always have honey in the house.
Yeah.
Which we do.
Now, do you have to get it hot? You have to put it on there hot? Is that a good idea?
It's recommended that because there is things that can grow in honey that's a little bit not good for you. That's why you want to heat it up. Plus, the heat of the honey will actually help coagulate the wound.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those. How they used to cauterize wounds with hot blades and crap like that.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of
only on Rambo.
Only on Rambo.
Yeah.
Dude, Rambo.
I mean, we were young enough. Like, I know that one of the reasons why I wanted to be a Green Beret was Rambo. But watching that as an adult, I watched that shit and I'm like, oh my God, this is so bad. But you know what? And that's the things that I want to talk about movies because, God, if I have my wish, I would get Andy Stump and Agent Crayon on the same one. We just talk about movies. Andy Stump has a site called
Seems brutal.
Tactical Asshole. And it is nothing about the fuckery in movies and in real life. Like, people will do fucking stupid shit, and he'll show it. Like, it's hysterical. So, speaking of Rambo, dumbest medical scene ever. Okay?
Oh my God.
Can I interject
Now,
first?
hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
The movie where they're hunting each other, and he's in that school he's showing...
Let's go back to The Hunted.
Okay,
because
that's
a
what it was.
shitty-ass fucking movie for, like, realism.
Well, I know, but...
Okay, we'll go back to that.
There's that one scene where they're actually training. I want to know if that's truly real.
The train with a knife?
Yeah.
We're talking about medicine.
Well, I know it was a side
No,
step, but
it is absolutely as fucking far from
Is it
real.
really?
Oh
Yeah.
God,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
It was fun to watch, but it was it was bad. But I
Okay.
actually like Benicio del Toro and Tommy Lee Jones.
well,
I
so
didn't
do
care.
I. But
So I just watched the movie and got around
I just
the
wasn't
bullshit.
sure if it was actually real.
I mean, because
or not.
like, were you supposed to fall like 180 fucking feet on a rope and just be there, and like it wouldn't have ripped that fucking leg?
Oh
out
no,
of
I
the
wasn't
rope
talking
and
about
shit.
that. But I was just talking about them
No,
training,
the training,
with the knife.
absolutely. Well,
That's the only part I'm talking about. The rest is but
the knife strokes were real.
okay.
Not with the type of blades that they were using. That blade, which I
Okay.
want, that blade is actually mostly used for hunting and doing the as we call post care of your harvest,
Yeah.
in which we found out a 70-year-old woman just embarrassed the fuck out of 2 young guys,
Yeah.
including your dad, because she gutted those deer so fast. And I love your dad, but that guy will not keep that knife he walks around with sharp. And even she says like, when is he going to sharpen that damn thing?
Yeah.
Which knife?
70. It was his fold-out buck knife.
The
Yeah.
one that I bought him.
And what's
No,
funny?
that's not it. No, not that one. It's
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah. And there's other individuals in the family that are obsessed with sharp knives.
Really.
Yeah. And I mean, to a like biblical degree.
Oh, it's like biblical.
Biblical.
Like, it's really
So
funny.
One of the
opposites.
cheesiest medical scenes in movie history that I hope Andy would put on Tactical Asshole. Hey, folks, Andy's not on our speed dial. I know Andy. We've been in touch. I'm just a huge fan of what he does. He's an amazingly intelligent individual. You got to look up Tactical Asshole. I hope he puts this on there. So the worst medical scene I've ever seen, I think it was Rambo 2. No, Rambo 3. He's no. I think it was Rambo 1. And he gets this impalement in his side.
That Rambo 1 and Rambo 3, I believe.
They do it in both, right? I think
Yeah.
Rambo 3 is the one where I think he's been shot, but he pushes the thing out.
Yeah.
And then he takes and he, with his knife, as if pushing that thing out's not going to make him pass out alone.
Oh, Jesus.
And he pushes it out, and he, with a knife, scrapes the head, scrapes the bullet off of the brass.
Yeah, because it's that fucking
It's that
easy.
fucking easy. It's not that easy.
No.
And then puts the bullet, didn't go through the front hole. We're going to go through the back hole.
Yeah.
Because it's not dynamic enough, and we can't see Stallone's abs if we go through the front hole. So he puts the bullet in, like he's shaking the powder loose in his body. Not possible.
No. And it's getting wet from blood at this point.
At this point, yeah. Wet gunpowder doesn't go off. Yeah, no. And then, and he reaches. That was actually pretty good.
That was very good.
Sounded
Yeah.
pretty,
I think that was the other half of your pedigree.
That's because
Adrian!
we all know that I said, folks, I look like
Big
Stallone and frickin' Woody Harrelson had a love child. So then, yeah, Adrian, and he takes a lit stick and touches it to this black powder that blows through this hole, and it cauterizes instantly, and he passes out. Holy fuck, was that the dumbest fucking medical scene in history?
That was right up there. Yeah, that's definitely right up there.
But here's the funny thing. Somewhere, some dumb shit in some shitty little country thought that would work.
Probably.
And all they did was fucking put gunpowder in a wound and probably create an infection and all that kind of shit.
And then blame the movie and sued.
I will say one thing. I will say one thing. In Rambo First Blood, the very first one that they did, I think in the 70s and 80s, when he's sitting there sewing up his arm, right on.
Yeah.
He sewed correctly, and I was like, okay, that was right on. But holy shit. Other shitty medical. Well, I mean, anything that was Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, pretty much.
And now that he's become a liberal troll fucker, I'm not into Arnold anymore. But like some of the stuff they did him, like in Commando.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
man, it's been a while since I've seen that movie. But yeah.
I don't know if I've even seen that movie.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
For a while, it held the record for a lot of years for the most people killed on screen. Like, that was its claim to fame, yeah. And it was...
He's dead tired.
Yeah. The worst, whether you liked Arnold or not, the worst.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. They were making fun of him. It wasn't a good line. He couldn't even say it right then. I'll be back. It's like, dude, fuck. Take a goddamn English course, dude. Seriously, but whatever. But there was nothing medical in his movies that was legit. Okay, here's one. Saving Private Ryan.
Oh.
Legit medical?
The triage scene, like, okay, when they're on the beach and they're triaging those patients, that's actually pretty legit how it works. Stable, that was actually pretty legit. Like,
the intensity was killing me in that thing. I don't think that if you're a red-blooded American male or a veteran, I don't think you can watch the first 15 minutes without losing your shit.
Yeah, no.
I don't think you can.
Yep.
Here's one that's hard to watch because I know the real story. I don't like the way that they portrayed it, but Black Hawk Down.
That is a hard one to watch.
The scene. Let's talk about a specific scene. The specific scene where the young soldier had the femoral artery hit, and they're going after it. They're holding him down and they're trying to go after it.
Yeah.
Was that too Hollywood intense? Where are we at with that one?
Okay. So that's kind of one of those odd ones. Not really odd, but so a little backstory on that particular battle is that changed medicine for the U.S. military.
We talked a lot about this. This was a huge conversation we had after bottle one of
that was one of the things that I was actually, side note, that I was actually looking forward to you guys going up there is sometimes I feel like I'm not intellectually on the same level as Jay. So it's kind of nice to have. I mean, we have some deep conversations, but it's kind of nice for him and you to talk about some of that stuff.
I will tell you right now, okay, veterans don't talk about anything that is healing. I will encourage people to look up. We talked about it on the last show, and I didn't say who it was. A gentleman that I am extremely fond of. I have called him coach. I have called him friend. And his name is Alan Shabaro. He was one of the first Dirty 30. He's one of the first Americans to have his black belt in jiu-jitsu. He was the very first person in the Special Operations Regiment to have his black belt. He's an amazing individual, an amazing man. And he talked about some things recently that he was going through when I and my ex-wife went down to help him open up his gym, little things like that. And I'm starting to learn that a lot of guys don't talk about healing. And for me, the trip it fed that beast a little bit, the beast in the basement.
I told you that,
Another Rocky movie, the beast in the basement.
Well, you and I had talked about that. Like,
once again, that was pretty good.
There was one
that was
thing-
really good.
That was really good.
Slow clap, slow clap.
But there, I mean, you and I had talked about that's a beast I can't feed.
Well, and it's not a beast that needs to be fed, and I say that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, when we went to the range yesterday, even as shitty as I felt, I wasn't being necessarily competitive with AC. I was being competitive with myself.
Yeah.
I want
is
to
good.
know, motherfucker, you kick in my door, ooh, I may die, but motherfucker, so are you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's, and I take a lot of pride in being able to protect my family. I am upset at myself that I have let my knowledge of medicine and things that I need to do to protect my wife in my home. But see, that's the standard I hold myself at.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking like I am creating the most worst over the top scenarios. And I'm like, I must know this. Okay, you're going to take a lot more trips with AC and I.
To know that,
He's like,
yeah.
okay, so this is our first course for the week, and then we're going to move on to this trauma.
This is your first assignment.
Yeah, like this is...
And the
this
homework
is,
for the day is.
Yeah.
like, this was a vacation.
Well, he doesn't even come here to work, and
Yeah.
you're making him work.
Yeah, and I'm,
What the hell?
but see, he's passionate about
Yeah,
it. He
see,
loves his
medicine
medicine.
is not work to me. Medicine
that's good,
is
though.
enjoyment.
That's good.
And so, but see, me and enjoyment was doing that particular kind of work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why I can't be in law enforcement. They're stuck behind too much. They're stuck behind too much bureaucracy and paperwork. But I'm starting to learn that if he came back home full time in medicine, this is a guy that can get into a firefight. And I'm just going to call it what it is. He can slay motherfuckers. He can slay terrorists, kill bad guys, and literally save your life by doing some. We talked about some weird, man, I got to get injured. What did you say? I got to get tricky, or what was your thing? Like, and I can't remember the scenario, but like you would have to like figure out some shit and make shit and all this kind of stuff. And everything he did, like the scenario would save somebody's life, they'd take his license.
I don't doubt that.
They would take his license. And that fucking
It's stupid.
disgusts
It
me.
is.
Yeah,
It
it is
is.
disgusting.
Yeah, that disgusts me. All right, we got to get back to
Yeah.
movies and medicine.
Sorry,
We're
my
doing
bad. I
funny
apologize.
stuff.
Squirrel.
Squirrel. Squirrel.
So that scene from Black Hawk Down. Now, I wish I could travel back in time and be a fly on the wall and see how that actually went down. Like I would love
Mark Bowden actually wrote about it really well, and I had a lot of people that I knew about it. The scene went down very similar, but they used the shorts in which you told me the compression shorts for the femoral artery do not work.
No, they don't.
They've even gotten rid of the protocol.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tourniquets, either the tourniquets that everybody knows of or a tourniquet called a junctional tourniquet. It's just kind of a different way of doing it. Though for that particular scene, because I haven't read that part of the book.
Right.
And I mean, I apologize. I just haven't. And if I have, I don't remember it because I read so many books. So just on the movie. So we're just talking about.
Let's talk about. That's what. Let's just go with the movie and the way we saw it.
Yeah. So the way we saw it. The femoral artery got cut, and they said it retracted up into the pelvis.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that artery actually pulled up into the and they do that. You know, they have been known to do that.
So Hollywood didn't fuck up by going overboard with the scenario.
Yeah, with the placement of the wound and how far it retracted, though, I don't know. I'm because he showed him trying to get his arm up
into his pelvis.
Oh God.
That no. No. I mean, you would have caused so much extra damage on top of everything else trying to do that.
Right.
I was like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. And then, like I said, there's something called junctional tourniquet that may or may not have helped. And that's in the movie scene.
Mm-hmm.
Because it goes up high into places that you can't put a regular tourniquet. However, here's the interesting part. About that movie scene, he initially has, they're trying to operate and grab it with those forceps because you can see the vein.
That was real.
Yes. So, if they would have just put a tourniquet above that and tightened it down, there we go. Problem solved.
Ah, okay.
So, but, however, like, I don't know, and I don't want to talk bad on anybody at that.
No.
I don't know what their decision-making process was during that whole thing. I don't know.
Or what supplies they had.
What supplies, like, if you run out of supplies, you start improvising the shit out of some stuff. So I don't want to say, I'm just, from the movie scene, a tourniquet, high and tight,
would have
taken care of it. So,
Hmm.
But knowing what I know about the special operations community and the way those medics are trained, they did everything they could in real life. And like I said, I'd love to talk to those guys.
When did they start introducing, or has it always been, a tourniquet into the medical field?
After that battle.
No shit.
Yeah, that's the one that made it.
Yeah, because
It
tourniquets
is.
were,
So maybe they didn't have a tourniquet.
yeah, tourniquets were taught for years. Oh, you put a tourniquet on,
You're
they're
going to lose a
losing that
joint.
limb.
They're losing that limb.
Oh.
That and they
makes sense.
even really went real far into that in a lot of Hollywood movies, and they really talked about that.
Yeah.
And that's not the case.
Nope, not at all.
Putting something as simple and okay, so let's say it's not a through and through, folks. So for a through and through, Doc, please, would you take primary on this? See, I'm learning the lingo. You like that? I felt really cool saying that. So Doc takes a primary on this, and so it's not a through and through. A through and through is when a GSW, gunshot wound, the round.
Look at you using little short acronyms.
Well, I know a lot of this stuff. So I gotta
Yeah.
But the round goes in and then comes out the other side.
Yep.
Okay. Let's say it's not a through and through. A little nervous about that scenario. Because if it bounced around up inside, but the only thing we can do until we can get them to the next level of care is plug that hole.
Yep.
Yeah.
When in doubt, tampon out. Jam a tampon in that motherfucker. It's not the best.
No.
But at that point, you have to have something.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing about the whole tampon thing. It's kind of one of those...
Now, the reason I'm saying this is because we did a scene in one of our movies using a tampon, which he said, he goes, this is good. But then he's going, but did you do this, and this, and this? I'm like, it's implied in the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, you didn't do it, did you? I'm like,
No,
no.
we didn't.
So...
Movies, come on,
movies.
Hollywood.
So when you're
Smoke 'em
talking
mirrors.
about terminal ballistics, that's what they call it when basically the study of how bullets affect tissue when passing through them.
Oh, I bet that's cool.
It is really cool.
Yeah.
It's one of my day off
Yeah,
subjects.
I bet.
Do you hear how fucked up you two are when you talk like that shit together? You're like fucking, what was it in Puss in Boots? You're like fucking Hansel and Gretel. Or, is that who it was? Was it Hansel and Gretel?
Yeah.
Puss in
Isn't
Boots?
it?
Yeah.
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 So
That's some fucked up shit when you guys talk like that.
yeah. So when a bullet passes through flesh, especially at higher velocities, it causes a primary and a secondary wound channel.
Okay.
Now, that secondary wound channel is much larger than the actual diameter of the bullet.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the problem with a tampon. It doesn't get big enough.
That I didn't know.
Oh, women can beg to differ. No, I'm just kidding.
I see what you did there.
All right.
Just kidding.
So, and that's why we, double back on that whole combat gauze pressure and
Okay.
direct pressure on the site of the bleeding is the key, and also filling the hole.
So if there's two, then
Yeah, if it's
the exit and the entrance. So you're saying, so you do it to both?
yes,
Okay.
because, well, if you can do it to both,
Yeah.
sometimes you can't. And
If it's a through and through.
if
It's one entry.
one entry is the same.
Yeah.
One entries are actually easier to deal with because they're not through and throughs.
Okay.
Because now you have something to pack against.
Okay. Other than that, you have got. Okay.
Yeah, you're
that makes
trying to go in
sense.
from
Yeah.
two sides, and it just
doesn't
more
work.
difficult.
Well, it does, but.
However, so it's one of those you're trying to fill the space, and actually a great lone survivor when they're all out of, and I don't know if I read this in one of the books or I just remember.
I wanted to get into that because when they started packing
With
dirt
dirt.
in it.
That's all he had. He's filling up the hole, and that's what it's about. Because the more stuff you get in that hole, the less blood can come out.
Okay.
And it's as simple as that, really.
That makes
Sweet
sense.
Jesus, that and I heard that they had to
That'd be
do
so
that.
horrible.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, that
Well,
and here's the thing though. What if I'll tell you what, I'm gonna look into that.
okay. Another little interesting. There's so you have Comet gauze, and you have Celox gauze, and then you have I forget the name of the other one. Combat gauze works, without getting too technical, on the actual blood clotting cascade. It's how the blood manufactures clots. It works on the cascade itself. Now the other two, Celox and, for the life of me, it's escaping my brain. I use it all the damn time. Actually, is a type of dirt, more or less. It's like, and it causes, it makes a clot in itself.
Is that what you guys were trying to make on set that one day?
Yes.
Because that Will came up with that.
No, I was trying to figure out how to make it look real.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a type of clay. So, and it actually causes clot. That's why
that's
combat
cool.
gauze it just works differently. So they always say have both. In case one doesn't work, you use the other.
That makes sense.
But yeah, it's a type, like one type of combat gauze, Celox, uses clay, which is
That's so
dirt.
cool.
little interesting little. So yeah, by him packing those wounds with dirt, better than nothing. And mad props for him figuring that out.
Well, Marcus was an 18 Delta.
Yeah.
And
And just him having the cognitive ability to go, okay, this is what I've got. I'm surrounded by dirt. Let's use dirt.
With what was going on.
Yeah, that is.
You're
quick
having
thinking.
one of the worst days in human history.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
This is a bad day, and at that point, that's a tough one to watch.
Yeah.
It
It's a
always
tough one to
is.
read. It's a tough one
Yeah.
to watch. It's a tough one to
Couldn't
hear.
imagine reading that.
It's a tough one.
It's a good read, though.
It
Is
is.
it really?
Yeah, I
It's-
read it before I watched it.
It was a tough one to hear. It's a tough one to hear Marcus talk about.
Yeah.
It's very, very.
Oh yeah, it would be for anyone.
And that's So that was I didn't know how we were gonna. There was no real medical in American Sniper.
No.
There's no real medical in American. On another note, I had a guy that was arguing. This is gonna sound pretty odd. So in the Civil War, they were hacking limbs off.
Yep.
And Black Hawk Down, would they have been better off to tourniquet above it and just freaking hack that thing off and cauterize it right there?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard that argument, which I think is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. 'Cause
Yeah. Why?
why would you even do that? But
And even okay, yeah. they were hours out of evac, but still, he has the potential to keep that limb. Just because you tourniquet a limb does not mean you're going to lose it. And why would you hack it off?
Right.
That's not your job.
Yeah.
I mean, to actually take off a limb is a procedure.
It's a massive ordeal.
Yeah, you don't just take a saw and cut their whatever off. That's not how it works. You know, it's not you're cutting a leg off a deer that you just shot.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. There is a lot you have to do, especially like I won't get into it, but yeah, that is a pretty stupid argument.
Yeah.
That is not. It's not even. It's a non-star argument. The dude's obviously whoever you are that said that, you're an idiot, and go pound your face against the ground, but doing push-ups until you're smarter, because you obviously don't have a clue.
What other movies was there any type of
Check the game mode on.
checking the gate, moving on?
Moving on. Motrin water, change your socks.
Exactly. Knee down, face out, drive on, stay motivated. What other movies was there some pretty gnarly medical in?
Ooh.
I'm trying to look some up. You know, they didn't really go into it, and I almost prefer the way they did it. 12 Strong. When Chief Warrant Officer got hit, and he's fucked up.
Yeah.
He was, but the real chief survived.
Yeah.
But to me, they didn't go into it enough in a manner.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I had to figure out which scene we were talking about.
Right. They didn't go at it in a manner that not where it even looked wrong or right.
I'm trying to remember which.
It was very well. It was when
It's been a while since I
saw 12
like,
Strong. So it's when
it first came out.
It's
so.
when the Taliban
Yeah.
were pretending like they were going to give up. And that dude hit that chest bomb.
They were going through all of them, checking them.
Getting ready to start checking him, and he blew him up, and he hit something in there.
Yeah.
And it was bad. And they did bring in that 47 with the on-flight medical crew.
Oh,
those are legit.
Oh my, yeah. Those.
Hey, would you go into what a CH-47 on-board operating facility is kind of all about? The black ones. So if you watch the movie, ladies and gentlemen, in 12 Strong, there's a black CH-47. I think that might have been the wrong model for that particular year. Not really sure, don't care, but they have these things. And these are a dual propeller helicopter. Miserable as fuck to ride in.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
But miserable as shit to ride in. And but they created some of these that are, man, when you got a couple motherfuckers down in the field.
Yep.
And they need to be operated on like now.
That's insane.
Give the folks kind of an idea what them CH-47s are like.
So, basically, take a level 1 trauma surgical suite, kind of sort of shrink it a little bit, and slam it in the back of a helicopter.
And there you have it in a
there
helicopter.
Yeah. They a lot of times they'll run with some sort of trauma surgeon who is usually one of the best in their field. Or a PA who, actually sometimes both, usually like a flight nurse. Like, the crew could operate on just about anybody with just about any injury right there.
Whoa.
Like, they've got blood products on board. They've got advanced diagnostic. Like, those things are legit. Like, they are cool. Like, it's one of those things that me being an absolute medical nerd, it's like me, like an artist walking into the Louvre. Like, it is an amazing feat. Like, especially me, because I'm a massive geek when it comes to all that stuff. And just, getting to see into the back of one of these is just like, I just want to
Can I touch it? Can I touch it?
And start picking their brains, like these surgeons' brains and what. Oh, that is always an experience whenever I get to be around them. I go out of my way to find these.
Well, I mean, it makes sense if they're level of medical is up here,
Yeah.
and that's where you're wanting to reach. It only makes sense
To
like you
bring
said,
them to there.
Yeah.
But it is kind of one of those, the situation has to be right to bring them into it. Because if it's a hot LZ, you're not bringing that bird in because it's just, you're going to cause more casualties.
The risk, yeah.
And, you know, I'm not going to say their lives are more or less important than anybody else's.
No.
But they have the potential to save more lives. So
Yeah.
why would you risk getting them injured?
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
I've heard people, well, you know, they just need to bring them in. You know, we're fighting the fight. They need to fight the fight. Well,
Well, technically, that's not their job. I
Yeah.
hate saying that.
yeah,
I hate it.
exactly. We know what we
But,
signed up for.
yeah.
And they have the potential to save a lot of lives by being that flying surgical suite, more or less.
Yeah.
You know, and bringing them into some of these hot
And,
LZs.
I mean, people, and to me, people like that think that way are one track minded. Because you got to think from their position. How do you think they feel not being able to be down there and help?
Exactly.
And they all they have to do is be on standby. Like, how do you think they feel?
Oh, yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
And
Like, that's
they think
stupid.
it's horrible. Yeah, and that's. And in other news.
Yeah.
Checking the gate.
Checking
on. Yeah, on that one. No, they are an amazing, cool thing.
Yeah.
They are really, you know, and it pays to be an American and be wounded in combat.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna, you know, what is at your disposal is so much different. Do we have a lot of problems? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
But we have some things that are pretty, and so we have some pretty fucking amazing, hard-charging, motivated people that want to save your life and want you to live out your life and enjoy it. Oh man, I'm trying to think of some other like cool-ass medical things.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when I watch a lot of these movies that have medical in them, so
it kills you, doesn't it?
oh yeah,
It's like Andy or some of these guys watching like what ruined like it just tarnished. Like I love Sicario, I love it. But that fucking weapons guy on that set that gave that actor that gun, charged it and left the fucking bolt open, and this guy's getting ready to go out and get into a fight.
Oh no!
Come on, man!
You didn't catch it till several watches.
I had always seen it.
Oh.
And then people started talking about it. I was like, oh, I'm just the only one because I do movies. That's why I saw it. No, damn it!
Boo.
Everybody saw it.
Yep.
But I mean, if that's
that
gonna
I
make or
respect.
break you from watching the movie, then
Yeah.
Jesus.
You know, I have to watch those movies for the entertainment value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not right on, you know.
Well, like you said, I mean, you can't do
Now, the
everything
more-
for.
But the more right
You
on,
have to have Hollywood it.
the more right on you go, the better off you are.
Oh yeah.
We were talking about. You said Dunkirk is pretty good.
Dunkirk was a great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Platoon.
Ooh. See.
There's some medical in that.
There's a lot actually. Oh, it's been a long time since I saw that.
Yeah.
one.
No, well.
Well,
Was there any medical in We Were Soldiers? I think it was so quick and so fast they never made it an issue.
Yeah. I mean, they had a couple medics running around doing stuff, but you never seen them actually do anything. Like when he was, when the reporter, the guy that ended up writing the book, when he's helping that guy that after they called in the broken arrow and he's just
The photographer is the guy that actually wrote the book.
Yeah.
And they stayed friends for years.
Yeah, and that one guy that was just burned, just absolutely burned, and he grabbed his leg.
Oh, fucking shit, man.
Yeah, and the medic came in and he's like, "Hey, just keep him talking."
oh my god.
That's actually really
Pretty
good.
legit shit.
That's pretty good medicine. Like honestly, he just got to keep him talking because that's all you can do for him.
Yeah.
and especially somebody with that level of burn, because burns are a kind of a interesting beast when it comes to trauma. So.
You know, I don't think that you will ever be, you know, look, shooter takes a life. I don't look at it that way. Shooter takes, neutralizes a target.
I like that how you
Yeah.
stated that.
I believe in neutralizing the situation, neutralize the target. It has nothing to do.
I call it user friendly.
I derive neither, pleasure nor pain from this type of situation. You don't want to be in this situation. You want no part of it. But by God, you come across people that are good at don't do it. There are men that are one of my my good just people who I look up to a lot. Like I said, Alan Shabaro. He had an I don't know what you want to call it, called Embracing Violence. Those who embrace violence bring peace to the many.
Oh, don't you have a shirt that says that?
Yeah, I actually, God, I
Or
love
don't you own that?
Well, the shirt.
Or no, like the embrace violence.
No,
That?
that's Alan. That
Oh,
was
I'm sorry, I
Al's,
misunderstood you.
And I put it on my rodeo shirts to try to
That's what it
advertise
was,
his
okay.
stuff. And I took heat for that slogan.
Really?
Oh, yes, it's terrible. I'm like, you don't fucking get it then, man.
Yeah, exactly.
There are guys that are so much. I mean, like these guys that I look up to and I've looked up to my whole life, and these guys, they want no part of anything violent whatsoever. But God damn it, you push them into that fucking hole, and they are going to scorch the earth with you. I don't know any other good ones where there was a lot of medical. I think people are afraid of it. But, the thing that I've always would love to see, because I have a couple of accounts, and we'll come close to trying to wrap the show up, is you're a soldier, you're a shooter, you're moving forward, you're doing your job. Medics, I mean, there was one part in Saving Private Ryan. There was a couple of medical scenes that I can't remember, in Band of Brothers that were pretty fucking intense.
Oh, yeah.
There were some real hard, and
Yeah.
you think about the shit fucking medicine. Well, okay, it was the best they had at that time,
Yeah.
But compared to what we have now, oh shit, But I think it was in Saving Private Ryan. If you watch the full, it's one little small scene, and this is a job. This is why Agent Crayon's job is fucking, I don't care who does it. These medics are on the, Dog Beach, Omaha Beach, and shit like that.
Yeah.
And they're taking the junior medics with them going, tourniquet, give him something. Not going to make it. Give him a turn. I mean, they are, life and death is in the point of a finger. I don't want that responsibility. I don't. I mean, I am going to second guess and question myself my entire life.
And a lot of medics do. Like, a lot of guys I know that have been in those situations do second guess it. It's one of those things that ends up haunting them. It's just nature of that beast.
But, Doc, what is, guys that have done it, because you've been around it now for over a decade, I always want veterans, God damn it, reach out, guys. Stop eating each other.
Yeah.
Stop dogging each other. Stop doing this freaking suicide bullshit, man. Just stop this stuff, guys.
Yep.
Is there a higher rate of guys that are on the medic side, especially in the field, that see it really ugly? Is there a study onto how they, I don't know how I'm trying to ask this, like per capita, do they have more issues, more problems that you know of? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a very interesting question, because I don't know.
Because I know when they DD 214 out and they have the little, I'm sorry, I will never talk bad about my beloved Army, but I got done wrong, but I'll never talk bad about it. But, that bullshit form they give you, are you thinking about killing yourself? If you answer it wrong, they're going to, they make your life worse.
Exactly.
So you're going to, no, I'm feeling great, dog. I'm good. No, I'm not staying up all night. No, I'm not fucking taking, Ambien to sleep every fucking night of my life.
Yeah.
I'm not, drinking 4 gallons or a gallon of whiskey a day just to function to get through my day, unless I'm on vacation, which everyone, that's okay.
That's okay.
This is my vacation. This is not normal. On Monday, I'll dry out. But no, I'm just kind of curious if there's that'd be something fun to look into.
That is something now, because I never thought about it, because I do look into the whole suicide rates and all that, and because is what it is, and I never actually thought about looking into how many medics. It'd be very interesting, because we do have a different job, and we have the same job. We're shooter first, medic second, but we do have to deal with the other side of the shooter, the receiving end of it. So it would be very interesting to see what the capita is, you say, because we do have a different mindset, though.
American Sniper, they had the magazine. One old boy got lit up, round bounced off his 249, smashed into his face. Rob, what I thought was interesting on there is he was pissed and just gushing blood from his face. The fight continues going on. He's trying to give himself self-care.
Yeah.
And that medic's got to take charge after that.
Yeah.
And fuck, man, this is your buddy, and I've been hurt intensely in my life in various things, and it takes a hell of a man to try to be, man or woman, I'm not trying to, but it takes a hell of an individual to try to remain calm while you are in an amount of pain that you can't put into words.
Yeah.
And the medic's got to deal with that too.
Yeah, there's things for dealing with pain, though.
Yeah, well, and that's, okay, so Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
When the medic is lit the fuck up at the end and he ain't going to make it, and if they leave, they don't have medevac.
Yeah.
They can't get, life flight, shit like that.
Yep.
And he's sitting there suffering. That's some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that people have to live with.
Yep.
And man, to have to morphine a guy out.
Yeah, that's some.
You're gonna go to sleep at night.
Yeah. Remember,
and that's where I get very upset at these people. It's like, oh, cops just want to kill dudes. No, they don't.
No.
No one, no operator, no contractor, nobody wants to have to freaking do anybody in. It's just not. Fuck, man.
Yeah.
It's not something you want to wake up with.
No, definitely not.
I don't even like to have to put down my dog when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
For fuck's sakes, But yeah, we're gonna have to look into some more movies.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta end it on a fun, happy note. We kind of went on Debbie Downer there. We needed more alcohol.
No kidding. This is quite interesting because
Sure.
I like your response. Because I even asked you when we first got together how you respond to people saying thank you for your service.
Actually, and I give him a lot of credit. He's not on my speed dial. I don't know him. Even one of my friends that I just saw a recent video from Alan Shabaro about dealing with getting out and dealing with some stuff. And I think the great, because there are guys that have the Nick Palmachano did something really good, and he kind of made it funny about sometimes when you ask the wrong questions, and you have so many types of veterans out there that you have the guy that is living with, and it's real because I've dealt with it. There are so many different sides to survivor's guilt. The guy that wakes up every day who felt like he didn't do enough. The guy that feels like he didn't deploy enough. The guy that feels like he didn't save somebody's life. There's been some stories that Doc and I have talked about over the past 4 days. A story that really bothers me. We're talking, not only do I have anything to do with it, I don't even know the guy, but to listen to the story of Crispy.
Yeah.
He's an amazing individual. He's an amazing human being. Works for Black Rifle Coffee. lost one leg through the fire, was burned over, 80% of his body?
Yeah.
He was sitting there, stuck in a Humvee, on fire, covered in fuel, conscious the whole fucking time.
Mm.
People walk by him and they're like, dude. Guys that simply had to see that.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many levels of, and that's why I just say respect everybody.
Well, I
mean,
like your response to it.
Which one? I use a couple because I actually copied one
That's what
from
I think
Evan
I'm
Hafer.
talking. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
The way he goes about it is, thank you for your service. My pleasure.
Not the other one. The best job I ever
That's
had.
mine. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I kind of stole that from watching when those guys are getting ready to do that last battle in that movie Fury. Best job I ever had.
That's what it
It's
was.
best
That
job.
was a
And it was the shittiest fucking job in the
Yeah.
war. It's the best job I ever had. And for me, because my career did not end, did not go the way that I wanted it to, I still say it's the best job I ever had. My pleasure. Because I have that guilt of the not doing enough,
Mhm.
even in contracting. And maybe that's why, and seeing that's a bad mindset to take.
Yeah.
I want to go back one more time to try to put a Band-Aid on a broken arm of what I did and I did not do. And to contract, I got to teach a lot.
Yeah.
And I got to be a tool, and I ended up teaching more than I did crazy fun stuff. And the crazy fun stuff that we did with cool guy stuff, all I did was do cool guy stuff and then get to go teach it.
Mhm.
So, for me, there's a lot of people that think about it differently. Don't thank guys for their service. Thank them for their freedom. You want to do something cool? Just go up and shake a brother's hand. Just go and say, you know what? I appreciate you. And I think that goes a lot more because we have turned into thank you for your service, or all these fucking companies that go, we hire veterans. No, you don't.
Or,
You hire them for the 8844
Mhm.
Yep.
form. It's 84. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
your
were.
company equates and holds veterans in the same regard as felons, pedophiles, and people on welfare. That's exactly what you think about.
because you want a
them.
tax break.
You want the tax break.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you're only going to hire them for 9 months because that's how long you have to have them work there for that tax break. And then you're going to look for another couple of vets. I am really, if I ever really actually help, because I have been with a lot of people that are going to run for Senate and people that I actually think are legit, that's my thing. If you're going to have some type of form for veterans to come and work for you, we need to make a new form.
Yeah.
We do all kinds of bullshit. Do not classify veterans and the great Americans of this country with pedophiles and, welfare and all this kind of bullshit that is just, and you know what? I think it's an insult to some people. Hey, man, welfare, sometimes you need that hand up. You
Mhm.
sometimes
Yeah.
need that hand up. Now, if you're one of those pieces
Well,
of
it's
shit,
like anything
I got
and
6
everywhere.
children, and how are
Yeah.
they going to get fit? No, I'm not your guy. Get a job. Stop spreading your legs.
You don't want my take on that.
Oh, you get brutal, so we have to tone you down.
You
'Cause
don't want my
you
take
own
on that.
you open a company, and you can't. I can, because you can fire me.
It's illegal to sterilize people. That's all I'm gonna
See,
say.
there you go. You had to fucking roll down that road, But I don't know one veteran that feels good about that. Thank you for your service.
No. It's
I don't know one. It's right
Yeah.
up there to me. It's the people who, you're not thanking me for my service. No matter what the service is, large or small. You're not thanking them. You are putting a Band-Aid on your guilt for not doing anything for your country and your fellow man.
Yeah.
That's all that is to me. You didn't have it. You didn't sign. Now, that's not for everyone, and that's okay. But don't go through your... the Jay getting kind of deep tonight here.
Yeah.
Aren't we?
Yeah.
Don't give in to your guilt because you didn't have it. That just wasn't your destiny. That wasn't your...
What do you prefer? Agent
Doc.
Crayon or Doc?
I prefer to not be recognized. I don't want anybody to even know I served anymore.
Why
'Cause-
so?
We didn't join to get recognition.
No.
Oh no,
we didn't join to
Yeah.
get the free meal on Veterans Day.
No.
I want no part of it.
No. I joined to do my part, and like when they, I get it. They're trying to, appreciate what I did, but I didn't do it for them. I did it for the whole, so I don't, personally, I don't even like recognizing that I served. You see me though, and you can pick me out of a crowd that I'm military. I can't help it.
There's the look.
Okay, what about like thank you for our freedom?
I've heard a lot of guys. You know what?
Yeah.
I've heard some people say they walk up and they, you know what? I really appreciate what you did because what you did, I get to live a free life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, is that over dramatic? I don't know.
I don't think so. But it's to each person on how they take it.
And I think and the problem of it is we live in this social media world where it's instant gratification that because I post on Facebook, thank you, honor our veterans. Really? Tell me what the fuck you really did to honor our veterans.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously. Tell me what the fuck you did.
You know what I like is what was it? Was it Memorial Day or 4th of July? I can't remember. There's this company that they do here in Laurel that they actually they have a whole bunch of flags, and they actually send they get a whole bunch of people in baskets and actually send it across seas, like for the military personnel.
Okay,
what do you guys think
another
of that?
one? Another one like I think is very cool is that group, and I don't want to mention his name because I don't. But that group that sets up those flags that has every name from 9/11 that they put up. I walk into that stuff and I get a little bit misty-eyed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because nothing changed my life and the lives of others more than 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
And so that will always be very meaningful to me, and I love what they do with that.
Yeah.
But I really feel that the big problem is the companies like Facebook and all these, because these people are like, I'm making a difference because I posted and my opinion matters. No, it don't.
Well, that's what I was kind of getting at.
It really
like,
doesn't.
About those people doing that.
And see, what kind of cracks me up is you got these people who will sit there and
I just don't like the recognition that those sometimes people portray.
The
It's
recognition.
like, hey, I did this to get recognized.
Yes, it's like I saw a meme of a guy with a mask on, and he had like a thing full of food, and the way this cartoon was written is he was obviously giving it to a less fortunate family, and he's taking a selfie.
Yeah.
Look at me. Look at what I'm doing. I'm being a good person. I'm thanking veterans.
Well, you shouldn't
And
have
that's the way I see like some of these people we just voted into office. These two pieces of shit, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
They're going to sit there, thank our veterans. But those motherfuckers are going to go into Congress and not going to do anything for the VA. They're not going to do anything for soldiers getting some of the stuff that they need. And they sure as shit aren't going to fucking give them the support they need overseas to fight the conflicts that they're in. So please don't lie to me. Don't lie to these guys. These men and women, they at least deserve the truth. Hey, you know what, Mr. Biden? Be honest with them. Tell them you don't give a flying fuck about them, and you're not going to fucking give a shit if they live or die. Guess what? They're going to respect that more than your lies. And I'm just telling it like it is. I'm being honest with, don't pretend that you give a fuck. That's the whole thing that's like, thoughts and prayers. You folks are in our thoughts and prayers. Oh, go fuck yourself. We have seen this.
Yeah.
We hire veterans. They had a fucking plaque on the wall that talked about how many veterans they hired. And I'm going to call you out, Brett's RV and Marine. For when a veteran
That
quit
was
your organization, you said, and I quote, I was told not to hire any more of you people because you people aren't loyal. There was enough people there that heard that conversation. I'll call you out. Do I need to spell that? BRETZ, Brett's Marine. They're in 2 states, Montana and Idaho. Yeah. Now, I know that person's not running that company anymore, but still, these companies who say they want to hire, like a prime example. Look at not recognition, but look at the certificate. This guy has spent 10 years of his life fighting for this cause in one form or another, and some 205-pound overweight ambulance driver from AMS is going to tell this guy what to do and how to do it. I got a problem with that. I got a problem with that.
One, I would love to see that.
Oh, it'd be fun. Let's go
hope
back to
you
that.
live through that situation.
Yeah.
Because
that's not
at
gonna
that point,
happen.
the Marine knife hand
Good
is going
luck.
to come
Here,
out.
bye.
And, it's not going to work for you.
No.
So that's a very,
I would very much enjoy that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, good luck.
I think all veterans really appreciate the companies that are honest and sincere about it.
Yeah.
I really do. I think I've been a little bit discouraged with the veteran community themselves because I feel like we're eating each other. You're not veteran enough. I have a friend, an acquaintance, who's really vocal about, you're not a real veteran if you haven't deployed. Come on, dog. There was a long time during the Cold War where guys had entire careers. And this guy was, in the Army terms, a grunt. Bro, you weren't in the SF or Ranger community, so you're talking, you're kind of slinging some balls around that you don't deserve. But you know, it doesn't matter. You did the job.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys did the job in the 80s when they weren't going to war. Do you think that those guys wanted to join the service and sit around for 4 to fucking 6 years and not do a goddamn thing and get out? You literally just sat there and was waiting to get that call to go for your country. You think that they didn't want to go? Come on, man. So I am so tired of the veteran community eating each other. They're eating themselves. Like right now with people slamming. There are a lot of people that like Tim Kennedy. I love Tim. Ooh, a lot of energy in that motherfucker. Holy shit, he's just got a lot of it. You know, whether you like him or not, he's been a great ambassador for certain things, and you know, he never will eat the veteran community. Whether you like what Black Rifle has done in the past couple months, you're an uneducated idiot if you're slamming them for what one guy did literally 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Why does it matter?
An exceptional individual.
An exceptional, and that's the thing. And I think that's my problem with this is an exceptional individual that took on liberal assholes like Starbucks Coffee who said, we're going to hire 10,000 immigrants. Are you serious? With the amount of unemployment that's in this country? And then Black Rifle comes out, you know what? We're going to hire 10,000 veterans. And man, they're trying.
Yeah.
They are legit trying. And so whether you like their coffee or not, you know, go find one that you do. Go find a veteran cause that you like. Go find something as a veteran. And you know what? If you don't like what they do, it's like, you know what? That's just not my bag.
That's the thing about freedom of speech is you have the freedom to say or, you know.
Not say.
Right? I don't get it either. And then that's the thing about social media that I don't like is just because you can say it doesn't mean you should.
Well, and the other thing of it is, too, is there's been some of those memes out there on social media. And the one thing I will tell you is Doc wants no part of social media.
Nope.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you will not find Agent Crayon on social media. You won't find him anything. If we have any T-shirt or we have anything that shows him, most likely you'll see his face 1 or 2 times vaguely, but you're never going to see him. And that's the way he wants it. And you know what? God damn it, I respect it.
Well, I mean,
you know,
and if we could, we would.
We would.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, but there's a lot of people that understand that Gemma in the office is not Gemma at home and in her hometown.
They can coincide very quickly.
Well,
so
that anger thing, because the Doc's anger and issues and Gemma's anger and issues, that Dunna is a little. You know, you both are. I mean, you come from this fucking Viking Iceland.
A lot.
No, you fucking haven't.
But
you've learned how to just be. You just learned how to be calmer.
That's true.
You've not toned it down.
I am calm.
When you freaking blow it, that's it.
That is true.
Yeah, we both have that habit, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh, God, and I worry about being out with you both in public. So,
Ooh, that could be fun.
Oh yeah, we are supposed to go and eat.
We're getting. Oh, is it time for us to go eat? Let's go get some wings.
Well, it's 8:15.
Oh shit, we need to go eat.
Yeah,
let's
and they
go do
close at I think 10.
Oh yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I can put a lot of wings away in 2 hours.
Right.
They have arguably some of the best wings I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
And
10.
now when I say this, I only order 4 because they give you the
They're
whole
actually
wing
the
and
whole
the
wing,
drumstick.
not just the.
They
Oh,
give you the
really?
Yeah,
whole
it's-
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty legit on how they brag
You can
about
do what?
those things.
4, 6, 8. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, 4, 6, 8.
I think you only do like
And
4.
I do 4, and I end up bringing 1 home. You know,
You used to eat 6. God, we used to eat a lot.
and now you two still eat a lot, and I want to eat a lot, and I fucking can eat a lot. Okay, let's live on a funny, fun foodie note here.
Do you
So
have
you
the
both-
same problem?
Hold on, Gemma.
Hold the phone.
Hold the fucking phone. So
This is why we have ants.
So
Speaking of ants.
okay,
Have you
Archer.
seen Archer?
I love that show.
Okay.
You know what? We can't. But you know the thing that sucks is we can't really talk. I can't want to talk about Archer anymore. Did you hear about the guy that's the voice of Archer?
Yeah,
No.
He had a stroke.
he had a stroke.
And
he
a
may
bad
never
one.
talk again. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
and dude, this dude was the voice of Yoda, y'all. This is the way.
No shit. I didn't. Oh,
Fucked
that was
up it
real-
is. You know. Sorry. I don't
That
know where
was
that,
so good.
I don't know where that came from.
Please don't ever do that in bed, okay?
You mean I haven't done other weird voices in bed that you haven't?
Who is this stranger in my bed? Oh, let me act like no. Okay, we're good. Let's go.
We got on a subject one night, and she's like, "There are certain things that just there are just certain things that shouldn't be in porn." That's what she said, and I'm like, "Yeah, I know there is." And she was like, "What?" And I go, "The Muppets." And she goes,
Please do it. Please
she-
do it. Please do it. Please do it.
"So now she loves
Apparently,
it."
it should be. In
But
porn.
it was, she was so mortified at what I did, and I did it in front of a whole.
Like,
oh no, we were.
I'm
bunch
just
in front of a
pissed
bunch of
because
other
I
people.
can't do it.
So it's like, I mean, but could you imagine like Pornhub getting a
Please
hold
do
of
it,
like
please.
the Muppets or something?
Come on,
like
no,
that?
that suspicion
Would
is
you
killing me.
shut up? It's killing you. It's just- we're in public, and she just got so mortified because people are looking at me, and they start peeing themselves or laughing. So I was like, but nobody really thinks about like other people going into porn. It'd be like, oh, Kermie, oh, take it, you swine, you know. Fozzie Bear jumps in for the threesome. Wow! Up yours, you swine, you know. Take it, honey. You know, it's just railing Miss Piggy in there. Whoa, oh, anal. Yeah, take it, you swine.
There
Ah.
was one day we were trying to up each other. And I was like, oh, here, have some Zootopia porn.
Oh, God, she's sent me these pictures. I'm like, oh, God, I'm in public. Jesus Christ. It's just like, there are just certain things that don't belong in porn. Kermit the Frog is moving right along, chit-chong, chit-chong. She's sucking my dong, chit-chong, chit. I mean, you can't fucking do that shit, man. I mean, you know.
Why not?
Oh, Kermit, take it, you swine. You know. Wow. You know. Just going out to the threesome right there, you know. That's why you can't, like, I guarantee you someone's going to email me going,
I don't know how
I
you
can
would
never
keep a
watch the
straight
Muppets.
face.
oh, you couldn't.
No way in hell.
There's no, but you know what, though? There's some people that are in some weird fucking
Yeah,
cartoon
you
porn
know.
out there. I guarantee
I
you
hear
there's somebody
anime
out
is the new rage.
I hear that. 3D.
Yep.
Somebody well, I was just reading in like technology for cameras. There's this new editing software that they're using, and they're calling it something like 4D porn.
Oh.
And how do you go 4D? I mean, I know how the D's
Isn't
work
that
and all that.
visual thing?
Yeah.
That you, I don't
And that's
know.
like the thing, dude. And then you see, like, I sent her pictures. I was messing with her one day, and I sent her pictures of y'all. Sex dolls have gone to a new level. Like, they're some weird shit. Like, they look really freaking
you got to
human.
tell the whole story. Like, we were watching Whitney Cummings stand up, and
Yeah,
she
had
purchased a sex
she had
doll.
a that looks like her. No bullshit, and it
Yeah.
talks.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it legit looks like her. And Whitney Cummings is a very attractive woman, and she's this comedian, and she brings this sex doll out on stage.
Oh, shit.
So I don't know if this is the truth, and I really wish that I had contacts to get in touch with her. But evidently, she bought it for her fiance, and they broke up
As
over
a
this thing.
joke.
As a joke.
As a joke.
Now I guarantee you, this sex doll cost like $100,000 because it talked, it looked like her. She got to choose the boobs, like legit. It legit looked like her. And these dolls are a huge thing now. And they're starting to talk more. And, like, people are starting to talk about this shit. And they got doctors going on, like they went on Rogan. Like, she brought the sex doll on Rogan with her. And he goes, this is
I forgot
fucking
about
weird.
that.
He goes, this is fucking
Yep.
I mean, he goes, and because they know each other. And he's like, he said, the hard part is, he goes, okay, when she moves her mouth and she talks, I can tell it's not you. But I'm looking, and if I look, you know, and I'm just kind of doing something,
Glancing.
it's you. Like, they've
Whoa.
gotten that, the eyes, color of the eyes, you name it. And there's been a couple doctors talking about this going, y'all, we don't want to go down this road. And it is some kind of weird shit. But it is weird where people go from one thing to the other. Like, I make fun of Muppet porn. I guarantee you, if we look some weird shit up on the internet tonight after another bottle of Huckleberry, this podcast is brought to you by Lolo
Oh, if you
Creek.
want another one, then
We need to go to the liquor store.
It's 822. Yeah.
So, anyway, folks, you got to call in. We may try to do one more show tomorrow. That doesn't give you a lot of time. Oh, we may not be able to get this up and running before. Hey, if you have any questions for Agent Crayon, no, ladies, if you want to know how hot and gorgeous he is, he is. He's smoking hot. If I were gay, I'd be his bottom. I'm just telling you the way it is. And you have to understand that this is the cousin that Gemma wanted to bang.
You guys are never gonna like the fucking age.
No, I'm not. I'm really never going to let
No.
this
She's never
go.
opened
No,
my
I don't think I
fucking
will
mouth.
either.
Dick. Go to the other room to change now.
3,
Oh,
2, 1. Jesus. Do you know how much fucking editing I have to do on this one? Because you can't handle your alcohol.
you know what? I'm not even actually.
You sobered up.
I
Now you're hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
So, folks, it doesn't matter when this show comes out, when it comes out. Hey, if you have questions for Agent Crayon, a.k.a. Doc, you can go ahead and send them to the Jim and Jay Show podcast at Gmail on the link. Please hit subscribe, folks. We're trying to make it. We want to keep having more guests. We'd love to. We're going to try to set up a situation so that Agent Crayon and Doc will be able to be a regular guest, even when he is indisposed in said foreign countries, because somebody with that kind of experience, he loves spreading it. He loves medicine is his passion. I could see. Do you feel me? To be honest with you, after this podcast, I could see an Agent Crayon podcast. I truly could.
I could see that.
I
almost like-
really could. You know,
I think it's a good addition.
I think medicine is something that we do not pursue ourselves enough. And the knowledge, I mean, yes.
Well, we know
I had
several people here locally that are in the medical field that could benefit from
his knowledge.
his knowledge
you
base.
know.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. This is like a brother that I never had. Ironically enough, the guys that I'm closest to are all goddamn medical guys. I
Isn't
don't
that
get
weird?
it. And they all drink copious amounts of whiskey.
You know what's weird is I think.
What's weird is
So-
Muppet porn. Sorry.
Oh my god, I don't even know what to say to that.
Oh, Kirby. You swine.
As Doc's sitting here drinking more whiskey.
Anal we are. Sorry, I can't dog my Yoda. I can't go that way, you know?
Oh, so it was funny. Like the first time my dad was talking to Doc, and he's just like, "Hey Jay, I have somebody you need to talk to."
And that's how we met.
That's how you met.
2.5 hours on the phone later. That's what
Yeah.
but we would realize that we had literally been running in the same circles for close to a
And
decade.
you're like, hello?
Yeah. I'm like, what's up, man? But it was like a little
Did
thing
you
like,
know that of him before you talked to him?
No.
he did admit on the trip that he did look me up.
Yeah, I did look
Yeah,
him up.
of course.
Because,
Why
well,
wouldn't
you looked me up too.
Why
Yeah, I
wouldn't
mean,
you?
it's,
Yeah,
you
it's-
know,
It's one of those.
once we John Wick vetted each other,
Yeah.
you know, it was like, okay.
Don't make me wick you.
I will go full wick on your ass, you know. But no, it was very weird how we met. I mean, it was because we were on the phone and it was weird. Like, I got to admit, that was the first date. It was like I got off the phone and I think we were gutting deer. I think we were processing.
I truly can't remember.
I can't remember. It was around.
It's been a while.
But I got off the phone after like being on 2.5 hours on the phone, and I'm like, God, I miss the job.
Well, my dad did it because
I miss being around people like this.
He wanted to. He knew that he didn't have really someone to talk to
Yeah.
here. That you kind of might have needed someone in a similar field
Yeah. Yeah.
to be able to talk to.
Well, I don't want to go too much into this because this could be
No.
an Oprah. No, when I say this, there's nobody in the family that understands.
There we go. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
That, and you know, even with the backgrounds that we have, there were times when we would be just drinking it up and having fun over the past 5
Yeah.
days. We would start to tell certain stories and things, and you
like,
could
yep.
see. Well, you said you watched it too.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
see where it's thinking, oh,
Mm.
now that's frustrating.
Yeah.
Because you want to just blurt it out and be like, dude, so there was this fucker, you know, and then I was this. And you want to, and usually the stories we tell are how we fucked up.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with it. Don't think that we're giving ourselves a POB award.
No.
We're not giving ourselves a pound on the back. It's how we fucked up. That's how guys.
Well, I've been used to it because of how you act, so I know what that means.
And you've been around other contractors. You know, we've had other people who've come to the house and been around and stuff like that. So it's not something you haven't been around. However, the family hasn't.
Yeah.
They don't understand. They're certainly, oh, you can talk to me about work. No,
No,
I
really
cannot.
can't.
Well, not really anybody in our family has the same personality as my dad or Doc or me.
That's
really.
very.
That is very
Th-
true.
I mean, I hate to brag and pat ourselves on the back.
She
but-
did. She gave herself a POB
Now,
award.
some of our
pound on the
family
back award.
is kind of laid back, but they don't have the same thought process.
That yeah.
Does that
that's-
make sense?
that's-
We are very much unicorns in our family.
Yeah.
I think so, anyways.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And I don't know why. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
It's like I said, but it was very interesting. We were talking about today. We were talking at breakfast, right before breakfast.
Yeah.
On, you see, now you just figured it out. You just answered a question. We're going to end on that. We'll have to talk about it sometime. You just figured it out.
I ain't
You-
dumb.
Hold on. No. You wait for this. I want you to let this soak in. You just have that thing. You don't know what it is. You don't know how it works, but you just have that thing. And those are those guys, and maybe some gals
Because I'm
that
a bad motherfucker.
that
I don't know.
well, they are.
Yeah.
But
I
when they
don't know.
operate, when we were talking to those guys that we knew that, like, and there are guys that I've met, like, man, I wanted you to meet Alan Shabaro. This guy, man, he's an amazing individual, and I look up to him so much. We're around the same age, and he always looked at me like, you know, Jay, we put our boots on the same way, you know, and I had known who he was to the community, and I meet him, and it's it's like when you meet people in Hollywood. Now, I never get starstruck about people in Hollywood. Don't give a fuck. You put me in a room with General Miller, I'm going to get
Ooh.
starstruck.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a.
When I met Alan Shabaro at the very first, I got starstruck.
Mhm.
And then he became my teacher.
Oh,
and then
that's cool.
and then we became friends. Unfortunately, the way life, it just kind of took me in a different road, and I wasn't able to spend as much time with him as I wanted to and learn and stuff like that. But, you know, you meet these kick-ass people, and I don't get starstruck over stuff. I get starstruck over that. You know, I do. And so that's what we were talking about, like, how do some people get into these jobs? And Doc and I were talking about, because we've run into those recruiters, and they look at you and they go, we can't tell you. They just have that
it's just
thing.
hard to explain certain things to people.
No, there's just no way you can explain it. It's like it's you know what? It's that comparable situation of like you and Doc and the family. You just have certain things. I mean, we can sit there and try to break it
Vikings,
down.
motherfucker.
Well,
Yeah.
we fucking know that, you know.
Where's my shield?
You know.
Too much
Also,
respect. Got my
Iceland.
shield.
You're both from Iceland, you know. You're both going to do the Eurovision Song Contest.
Yeah, ding dong.
Ya ding, do ya ding dong. We got to show him that movie before he goes.
Yes, please.
It's so bad, so horrible.
It's good.
So no, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and email us if you have any questions and stuff like that. We'll send them off to Doc, and I could very well see a Doc Crayon podcast in the very near future, where we go out and seek out the most fucked up medical professionals to tell the most horrible dark stories. That wouldn't be for the faint of heart, because people in the medical profession or in that the humor.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure the laughter
horrible.
would. You know
It's
who
black.
we could get in here?
Goose.
Yeah, and another
We just have to keep Goose sober
Yeah.
long enough to get the podcast started.
Hibbs.
That'd be interesting.
Yep.
That would, you know, who else we could get
Because he's
in?
very intelligent.
Oh, sweet Jesus! And he is not
He's an amazing.
thrilled about the medical community
Oh no,
on how they treat
that's the
people.
most masked gay man you'll ever meet.
And he is one of the hottest freaking drag queens you'll ever see, too.
Impressed.
Yeah, you know, like he does the job, you know.
If only
But-
if he shaved a little bit more.
Yeah,
but-
that's the thing.
Yeah,
that-
that's just
Well, you
who
got to
he
get
is.
the man meat, man. That little man cheddar. You know.
The man cheddar. Oh my
I
God.
have this.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gemma is cat backing
I
right
have
now.
this thing with
When it-
hair.
No.
doesn't
Watch. Doc, watch her. It's not hair. It's wet hair. And I won't pull it anymore. I
Please
promise.
don't.
She was coming in from the shower, dripping wet, naked, going, "Pull it out! You gotta pull it out!" And I'm like, "Pull what out? I'm not even in. I don't know. Like, I'm thinking we're gonna get some freak on or some shit like that." She's like, "No," and I'm like, "What's going on?" She's dragging me by my ear, almost, and hair, because she just grabbed whatever she could. Get it, and I'm like, "What, honey?" And I look at the drain. I'm going, "Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding."
And that's the worst you
Don't-
have to do in
I
our
mean,
marriage, man, I guess.
that's the worst my day is. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Jay with Gemma, the Gemma and Jay Show. Thank you for joining us, Doc Crayon. It has actually been a pleasure. I'm hoping we get to do one more. If we do, we'll try to make it a little bit more lighthearted, but we hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any questions, remember, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you next time. Sign off. ladies and gentlemen.
Bye.
Bye-bye.